Dun, da, 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 dun, da, 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 da. Thelma and Louise at it again, y'all. Let's talk about it. Right? We're going to talk about it today. We're going to get these off the screen. We're going to be like, whoa, hey, what's going on, everybody? How's it going? Everybody's grounded. We're good. Nobody's flying an airplane. Right? I just found out from Donna that there was a second plane crash. I'm like, oh wow, I did not know that. You know, these people in around Lori and Chad's orbit, they consume all my time. So if you ever want to know what I'm doing, I'm researching these people. Okay, I orbit. Okay, so I never get bored, and it's just a steady a steady thing, and I'm sure my notebooks reflect that, okay? They really, really have to. Hey, beach bum, what's going on? I don't know. I took this, whatever. I'm just having pressure problems. Pressure problems. Hey, Miss Dora, how are you? Last week we had a blizzard. This week it's 72 and sunny. Whatever, it's the tripolar weather. We are used to it here. We are used to it. Oh, hey, I'm just gonna call you Donna. I can't get used to it yet. Don't give up on me though. Don't give up on me, sis. Okay, hey, beach bums, so good to see you. I've missed you guys. Again, they were taking up all my damn time. Blame them. I blame all these people. Okay, they are cuckoo. I have so much to tell you guys too. And this is how my day went. Okay, real quick. We're just gonna, you know, do our little small talk. I've always been like this. Okay, I'm really good at small talk. But I was going to schedule this live stream, and then 2 hours later, I was going to schedule about Sean Reyes and about how the audit came back for Sean Reyes and his tenure being the attorney general in Utah, and how he sucks, in my opinion. And so then I was going to do that. And then I was going to, 2 hours later, I was going to do, how can I say this? I was researching because I was doing my orbit, and I landed back on Goel Substack investigations in ritual abuse. Okay. And I ended up back there, and he had written some articles about how his court cases have gone with Joe Wood Binion, who is another alleged depraved, maybe individual. I don't know. I'd rather say that than he's equivalent to what Gordon Bowen is alleged to be in the LDS Church of Satan, the alleged LDS Church of Satan. I'm saying this because there's people, they're starting to do what we're seeing in the Diddyverse, where there's the retaliation, basically. I have more money than you, my pockets are deeper than you, and I have more time than money. So, you know, I'm gonna do this until they stop me one way or another. And I'm not gonna stop. I hope you know this. I'm pretty sure you can see this, right? It's We're almost there. We're almost. I mean, we know where it goes. We know who funds it. We know who is in the clique. Okay, now it's just kind of filling in really just the context. We know it's infiltrated the church of uh, LDS Church. Okay, I'll just say allegedly, um, and it went all the way up to, like I said, uh, the hierarchy of the church. And then life was like, but wait, there's more. There's always more. And then through another person who also has researched Tim Ballard and this who's bankrolling that, like we were trying to find out. there was more, right? Until I found his name is famous, Anon, famous, Famous, and he has a Substack. And Chris Fodstick, one of our brothers here, um, sent me the link again, and he reminded me that I had been there before, and I just hadn't revisited it. When I did visit it in 2022 or 23, maybe, I don't remember. It was foreign to me, like all the connections. I was not there, um, you know, in my connections, so to speak. And welcome to ConneXions Classroom, right? Here, thank you, Jodi. Anyways, but I mean, so now we have that aspect of it where it goes to, the Sound of Freedom. One of the major funders or whatever is alleged to be Carlos Slim. Carlos Slim is one of the wealthiest men, if not actually. I mean, I haven't gone and vetted this out myself yet, so I can't say he's the wealthiest man uh, on the planet. Okay. Um, so let's just say allegedly. And I mean, if not, he's friends with the Rothschild. So, I mean, birds of a feather, we always said, right? And it's just that. And so whenever I got to cartel, the word cartel, it's very triggering. And I'm just like, okay, well, this is the top. There's nobody above these people. There's nobody above Carlos Slim. Maybe partners, but there's nobody above. And so we've reached the ceiling, okay? And so now it's just filling in all the pieces, okay? And we're here today because of another piece that has been presented in the form of a federal lawsuit filed against Jodi and Ruby, the Bobbsey sisters, right? They're ridiculous and horrible. But again, I did not know that, when I started to research the Hamblin case, it just, again, I saw a news story on Fox 13 News. Their reporting has, fed me all my breadcrumbs initially. And just following my intuition, my gut, I want to know who's responsible for my family's deaths, and Tammy and possibly Joe. I want to know, and I wanted to know, and you wanted to know, and that's why we're here. And we ain't leaving. So, buckle up, buttercups. We have a 112-page lawsuit to read and go through. Anyways, these guys are ridiculous. But again, this is, and it has been an evolving, I like to liken it sometimes, but I need to find a better analogy, okay, because this one's not that great. But to like an asteroid. Have you ever seen the movie Asteroid, where it's coming, the asteroid's heading straight for planet Earth, right? And then it's like, but my asteroid, okay, in my theory, there's just pieces of it that break off, okay? Well, you have Chad and Lori, boom, boom, they break off in 2019, rear their ugly, ugly inverted heads, okay? And then you have, we have, I want to say Tim Ballard came up on my map at least in 2020. Then to find out, there's more there than just Tim Ballard and Chad Daybell speaking on the same Book of Mormon conference and preparing a people circuit. Okay. Okay. So we have that. All right. And it just started to grow and evolve. Then I see this news story out of Fox 13 News as well. Adam Herbetz, who is also another wonderful journalist who has helped me for sure by his reporting, fill in a lot of puzzle pieces, as well as Lynn Packer. Okay. I mean, there's just, when I saw Lynn Packer's work, about, he has done an op-ed series into Operation Underground Railroad and Tim Ballard and all the people, right? And I mean, at first, again, it's just like whenever I saw Anon Famous, his work with Carlos Slim and how it Mel Gibson, uh, all the players. It's too many to name, right? Especially when I'm trying to barrel through and get to the point, which I don't really have one, but we're just kind of summarizing, which I'm not good at, but we're going. Okay. So then, so that asteroid's coming, it's coming straight for us, right? And then, so the chunk flies off, and that's Lori and Chad. Wow. Right. That's when my eyes were shattered open. Okay. I mean, I was just like, what? Everything just kind of, because, I'm not an organized person. I don't claim to be. I don't try to, I would love to be, but this is a lot of moving parts. So I hope that you can extend a little grace. Okay. There's a lot going on. Um, So yeah, it shocked my system basically. When I found out that my uncle Charles Vallow was murdered on I didn't find out till July 12th, 2019, because Lori is, you can fill in the blank. And we didn't find out till July 12th. He was shot and killed by Alex Cox, Lori's brother and protector. Okay, on July 11th, 2019, in Chandler, Arizona, which is where we are going to trial, third time, in this string of murderous sacrifices. I don't know. Whatever. Teach their own. Some people don't even believe in this stuff. Some people are like, ritual murder, ritual abuse. What is that? And you're just like, take the labels off. It's not about the labels. They really are effective for those who put them out there. Those are not my friends, and I'm pretty sure they're not yours either, but hey, I'll leave that up to you. Do your own research, Um, okay, so back on track. Okay, so there's that. Lori and Chad, boom, right? Shock my world open. And then we have Tim Ballard. He's spiraling, and then that piece is breaking off. And then, hey, detective's daughter, Chrissy, Never and Newton. Welcome in, welcome in. And anybody I missed right now. And then at the same time, I see a news story out of Fox 13 News in 2021, 22. I don't remember exactly, but it was about, when you read the headline and it says something along the lines of, oh crap, ritualistic child S.A., and some of it involving torture and cannibalism. I mean, and then, so JJ entirely had just been unearthed from Chad Daybell's backyard in Rexburg, Idaho. I'm open-minded, right? I don't know what this is. I'm not trying to form and fit and force a narrative. I'm just kind of going along with it until things just really start to click in. They click in, and they have not stopped ever since. It has been a nonstop click fest. Okay. Click with CK. Okay. Hey, Liza Joe. Hey, thank you, little brands. I need to go back up here. Oh. Member for 23 months. Ooh. Right. Lurker. Yo, lurker. I'm just picking. Thank you, though. I appreciate you. I do appreciate all my mods. I don't tell you guys enough. Member for 3 months. I just now am knowing how to read or where to read for the how long y'all have been members. So I'm such a ditz, right? Anyways, thank you. Thank you for your support always. I appreciate it. You'll have no idea how much I appreciate. One day, this will all be just about compiled in or somewhat organized, and we got to get it out to the masses for who wants to know, who wants to see. So back to how we got here, how we're getting here, and how this is forming up. So the asteroid's still coming right for Earth, pieces are breaking off. People aren't connecting that there's a big asteroid coming, right? They're just like, boom, just hit. I don't even know the verbiage. Okay. That's how much I don't, what, meteors? I don't know. Whatever flies off a freaking asteroid, a baby asteroid. Anywho, I'll find a better analogy. But so all these pieces are breaking off and they're hitting our society, our earth, our lives, some directly, some indirectly, either way, we are aware of them. And you just kind of are like, huh, these are some really particular beliefs. Okay. They really have their signature on them. I mean, and it doesn't tie back to a Bible. It can, and it does often in many other cases that are not uh, LDS based, I guess you could say. It's been saddening really to see how, when it's convenient, in my opinion, this is how it appears, in my opinion, whenever it's convenient for uh, an incorporation who poses as a church, so to speak. And I'm not trying to be harsh. I'm just, just got to get this out. But poses as a church, okay? And I'm forgetting what I'm saying. Hold on. I gotta get it back. Damn disclaimers. Yeah, it's when it's convenient, it seems that's whenever the Bible gets thrown out. That's when the Bible becomes the scapegoat, in my opinion. This is from watching, I think I've watched every documentary on this case, right? On Lorgan Chad, for sure. And so whenever things get talked about, they don't tie it back to DNC 77 or DNC 132, 131. They don't tie it back to Nephi and Laban ending. That's very particular, and it's very particular to this specific religion. It has its signature on it. And so, with that being said, with all these people that have plagued, in my opinion, I mean, just we're confused. We're like, what the hell is going on? What are all these people doing? There's no way these conferences can be that alluring, where you just have to go be there and and proselytize to who? Other of like mind? I mean, what the hell? That doesn't too much make sense to me either. But it's neither here nor there. Everybody has to make a dollar. I get it. However, some people, in my opinion, and through my 6 years of research now, that's pretty extensive, y'all. Every day for the last, well, I'll say 5.5 years. I've been digging into these people. I study their behavior. I'm not an expert. I'd say I am by now, and this is what we're dealing with. And so these are the people that we're dealing with, and they're very different, especially if you're on the outside of the religion of this particular religion that has its stamp mark all over it, right? And so whenever you start to hear weird things, in my opinion, from an outsider perspective, is I think we were married before in a past life. And you're just like, okay. I've had this talk with my daughter. I'm like, Ashlyn, if anybody ever comes up to you, honey, and it's like, hey, I think we were married in a past life. I was like, you haul ass. You don't turn around. You don't look back. You don't even just go. Run. Call me. Okay. Because that to me is just like, what is even going on? I've studied inside of these forums, where, they don't know. It's just, they're Mormon based, LDS based, they're LDS believers. And I mean, that's fine. I love all people, right? I'm just humaning. That's it. I'm just trying to suss it out. And I would hope that nobody gets offended by that, because I would think that you would be on my team and that you would want to drive the apostates out too. I mean, that's where I'm just like, what? I'm not saying that you believe what they believe. I'm trying to find out, and beliefs are a wide spectrum. Okay. They vary from person to person. Nobody has the same experience nowhere. Okay. However, the Mormador, Arizona, well, Mexico, Arizona, a little bit of Colorado. You got Utah, Idaho, California, Hawaii. Feeling, they're scattered kind of. It's kind of like the Bible Belt, and then except over here we have the Mormon belt or the Mormador. Okay. And so, I mean, it gets to the point where, going through this experience, it's been really interesting to see how the communities respond, when Tylee and JJ were missing and the church was sending out, allegedly, uh, it appeared to be basically like, hey, just a friendly reminder, um, you know, we don't involve yourself. I'm just paraphrasing here. Don't hold me to it. I can find it for you though. But just like sending these letters out to the wards, essentially affecting the jury pool, or essentially affecting and thwarting efforts to find Tylee and JJ alive, preferably, would have been great. But here we are. But basically saying to their members, or at least the higher ups, I believe, allegedly, to not really involve themselves in an investigation, to talk to, it's shaped like this. Okay. And then here's the top. Okay. And you have to go up the chain of command, just like my Uncle Charles tried to do when he was asking and begging for help for his wife, who turns out does have a murderous heart. Okay. Very raunchy one. So here we are. Again, this isn't to blast anybody. It's just to point out the things that failed my family and Tammy and Joe, and have failed many other people too. I'm not alone in this. Okay. Hey DJ, good to see you. I was thinking about you today just before I came on. I was like thinking about the ritual dates and everything. I was just like, it's so much. I'm so glad you're here though. I hope you're doing okay. I hope everybody's doing okay. Hey Joe Schmo, good to see you. I need to text you back. And Mia Spaghetti, how are you guys doing? Detective's daughter, Beach Bum. What? You want to come back for your fur babies? Uh, just me. Hey, just me. How are you doing? I missed your icon. I missed your username. Okay, I miss you. I'm glad you're here. Glad you can make it. But I understand when you can't. I get it. I get it. I get it. I don't hardly make it. I was so tired last time we came on. I feel bad. I feel guilty because I was just like, "Durr," so out of it. But anyways, again, I know we got to talk about Ruby and Jodi. Okay, it's all one and of the same, y'all. They belong. I believe this is my theory. I'll just say my theory. My theory is that these people all originate from southern Utah, in the same counties that are plagued right now and have been since Bishop Glenn L. Pace came out with his memo. Okay, he came out with a memo. He was, in the church hierarchy, and he was tasked to go and investigate and see what all these heinous, torturous reports of children being hurt, tortured, murdered. That's just not your normal run of the mill thing, it's not. However, because it was just, this is my opinion, I believe it was just slapped. Come on, camera. I believe it was slapped with a label, as we live in a labelistic, society, unfortunately. And so when people hear satanic panic or other coined words like conspiracy theory or things of that nature, they automatically shut their brains off. Okay. And they're like, oh, okay. And they freaking, the wires short out. Okay. And I get it, because going into this, and then Tylee and JJ being found murdered on Chad's property. And then I'm just like, okay, well, this isn't just as, there's more to this though. There is a cult. What about the rest of them? Right. We've said from the beginning, what about the rest of them? It's just like saying it's a criminal enterprise and then not charging anybody else but Diddy. Okay. It's like, where's the rest of them? Okay. And that's why we're all like, oh, you know? Well, Tim, in my opinion, we got the rest of them over here. There was that one guy that was unalived, that guy. He had an island too. As So does Tony Robbins. I think they all have an island. I think they get a book and an island. I don't know. And maybe a star next to their name. I don't know. Anyways, but it's just interesting. I know I have a couple drinks. I'm sorry. It always makes my nose wet. But anyway, so in my opinion, it originates from southern Utah. Jodi, I mean, she lived right there in Ivins, Utah. Ruby and her family and Pam Botchner, they lived in Springville, Utah. Chad Daybell and Tammy, they raised their children until 2015 in Springville, Utah. Is it a coincidence? Maybe. Is it a coincidence that they live in the same place and they believe the same things? I think not. That's just one aspect, okay? There are so many other aspects where you can't tell them apart, okay? You can't tell them apart. And it's pretty gnarly, I'll tell you that. And it's very destructive. We've seen it. We've seen it right here with our own two eyes and our own ears. We've read about it and we're just like, what? I mean, even Sherry Franke, Ruby Franke, and Kevin Franke's daughter wrote a book, Saw Sins of Our Mother, and it opened up her eyes to like, oh crap, And I get it, like I get it, and it gives me chills because people are getting it, you know. I hate that Diddy happened. I hate that all that stuff, allegedly, whatever. I hate that, but I'm also like, oh my God, yes, because people are starting to see that this is way bigger. This is, I mean, it's out of this world, basically. It is so mind-blowing to the connections this goes. This is it. We're at the top. Cartel, man. Cartel. Red flag, okay? There's nobody doing shot calling above Carlos Slim or the Rothschilds or the Queen of England before she died. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, they're all in this together. And I'm not feeling suicidal. Okay. I'm just letting everybody know. I love to live. It sucks sometimes, but I value my life. I don't feel like unaliving myself. Okay. Nor does anyone in my family. All right. Just putting that out there. They don't play. I've been reading all the Freemasonry stuff. It's pretty scary. It's pretty intense, but it's spot on. And I've always said that too. I'm like, it doesn't just end with Chad and Lori. That's not the ceiling. Like, named and unnamed. Name them. Okay. Charge them. Show me better than you can tell me. You can show me better than you can tell me. Okay. And I don't think that they're going to hold anyone else accountable for this. I think this is it. And I've had to get over my expectations. I had to lower them. Okay. And, I learned from our good friend KJ and the Ray that we're seeking justice through understanding. That's the best I can do for my family. I want their stories to be told accurately, because if we're not telling them accurately and we're just, we're just guessing at things because we don't have facts and evidence, then what are we doing? And how many people has this been done to? How many stories are not accurate? Whoa, like I want, when Sherry saw the, sins of our mother, it's not all the way accurate, but it was accurate enough for her to recognize those things. And thank you, Lord Jesus, like, oh my God. Thank you. Tylee and JJ, Charles, Tammy, and Joe, their lives, when they were here, they were dehumanized. They were, literally snuffed out. Okay. Nothing more than a couple $100,000, total, and it's just like, woo, what you gonna do there? Neither of them worked. Chad and Lori didn't work. Ruby was going to be a freaking mental fitness instructor, whatever the hell, mental gymnastics, okay? And then she was, beefed up and partnered up with someone who does not love herself, and that's Jodi. Ruby doesn't love herself either. I believe that her family, in my opinion, allegedly, everything I say on this channel is alleged and not fact. I don't want to get sued or murdered, okay? The fog has lifted, awareness being shared. What? Right? As long as it ain't that fake ass fog, make people sick. Lord. Anyways, but I mean, this is it, y'all. I mean, I hope y'all see it. I hope you can see it, because if you don't see it, then I just have to keep on and keep on until you do. I don't know how else to do it. It's my way, I'm just like, hey, there's fire over here. Fire, everybody, there's fire, and it seems like nobody's looking, that's what it's felt like this whole time. Oh, that's Don. I was like, who is typing on my speaker? I'm gonna push mute. Y'all, I just heard like the keyboard going. Anyways, all right, look, we're gonna just get into it, because if not, I'll sit here and just talk the whole damn time. Me. All right, let me back this up and take it out of old people font. Maybe there. We're a little old, but we're not that old. Allegedly. Anyway, so I got this from ABC for News. They shared it on, I typed it in. I was like, how can I get this lawsuit, right? So ABC for Utah is where I got it. And so I downloaded it, or whatever. I got it over to my Adobe. And so here we are. And here you are. And here we are. All right. So this is and it's federal. Okay. Look right here. Wham. Federal. Thames is also federal. You know who else is also federal? That would be allegedly David Levitt. Okay. And he was the main target of Homeland Security investigation basically the whole time. I don't know where that's at in its fruition. I have no idea where it's at in the process. I'm sure they weren't like, oh, okay, yeah, no, he's a good guy now. There has to be a lot of these things happening. This is the next wave, I do feel. Of course, I've been like fingers crossed this whole time, like, come on, freaking blast that sunbeam on these people over here, because they're friends with Diddy. Kanye West allegedly gave Sean Reyes, the ex-Utah Attorney General for Utah, who ran for 3 terms, y'all, who's no longer in office, who just got audited. We will go over that. I have to schedule my live stream for tomorrow. Not going to have time to do it today. Maybe later. Maybe. Depends on how fast we can get through this, which it don't look like it's good. But anyways. And so they were attorney. Oh yeah. Sean Reyes was allegedly given a leather chair. It's just one of those weird, like, I was okay not knowing that, but the fact that someone alleged in a lawsuit against, that was later dismissed, if it was like a conditional thing, like if you don't run for the next term, Sean Reyes, then I will drop the lawsuit with prejudice. Okay, so they can pick it back up. And that's exactly what he did. And we have what was presented in that lawsuit. It's not fact, but it is from this person who was suing and then stopped suing Sean Reyes, OUR, Tim Ballard, and friends. And so they alleged that loosely, okay, that Kanye West had allegedly purchased and gave Sean Reyes a leather chair to sit at and conduct business or something, and only meet with like members only chat, right? Members only in person, I guess, allegedly at Mac's place in Utah, Salt Lake City. And that happened to be in the audit. I did happen to catch that a lot of the missing information, which was dubbed as personal, was a lot of Max Place. So makes me want to look harder, right? Looking right at you, dude. We're looking right at you with our binoculars. Okay. You're in there like swimwear. All right. So, so that's Kanye West, they're all friends, y'all. Okay. They're all friends. I just assume that, and then they can prove themselves, okay? That's where we're at. That's where I'm at. So this is case number I guess 225 CV00049 CMR. Document 1 filed is January 22nd, 2025. And this is page 1 of 112. And this is Tilleman versus Hildebrandt. Okay. Let me make sure you guys literally see if we're on the same page. Yeah, it's so wicked, Cajun Queen. It's so wicked how they operate. I need to tell you all this because it's what kicked the door wide open and joined Ken Krogh or Tim Ballard into David Hamblin. Okay. And so I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out because these people are very complex in that if you haven't seen Wordwise's second video on Visions of Glory, she is, and it is, oh my God, she is on point. I'm so happy. I'm not happy. I'm valid. I feel so validated. Okay. And you should too, because our guts don't lie, but they tell us not to trust those guts. And they tell us that, we need to be logic. Well, yeah, you have to use all of your systems. Okay. You don't just, think of your car and then ripping a major part out of it and then like you cripple it. Okay. Or you make it where it won't start. So if we're not firing off all of our cylinders, they're not getting exercise. We have to do some mental gymnastics. Okay. Just to get around these people, right? They're crazy or they're different. We'll just say they're different. And yeah, Kara and Ryan have been, pulling a lot of information as well. There's no I in team. There's no I in team. I worked with a bunch of guys, at the plants, and they were like, no, but there's an M and an E. And I'm like, shut up, sit down. There's no I in team. Okay. So teamwork makes the dream work. This is not just whistleblower, we're all whistleblowers if you think about it. So yeah, support those who are, being a little bolder. You know what I mean? It's not easy and you don't reap the benefits. Trust me. There's 68 people in here and I think it's very important information, but that's me. That's just how I view things. People, I don't know. Sometimes they just want to hash out case details that you can find anywhere. I want to nail all the people and, with my family's blood on their hands. Because it's a vow, it's a promise that I made to my Uncle Charles and then Tylee and JJ and Tammy and Joe. They're in this too. They're never, they've been in my life ever since this piece of asteroid landed. Okay. So, all right, we're going to get into it. All right. I'm not going to read all this. Okay. I'm not going to do all that. And so, but you are welcome to screenshot it. I'll actually, let me share the link and, well, I can't right there. Why? I wonder why I can't. Oh, share. Okay. Remind me to do that. Okay. So this is in the United States District Court for the Federal District of Utah. Michael Robert Tilleman, an individual plaintiff, versus Jodi Hildebrant, an individual, Ruby Franke, an individual, ConneXions Classroom, LLC, a Utah limited liability corporation. Okay. Michael Washburn. That's a new name, right? I was like, I've never heard of Michael Washburn, Again, I've been eyeing. Ruby and Jodi were just kind of out of nowhere. Like wham, they just come out of nowhere. They flew out that asteroid along with everybody else, and I was just like, oh, they really, the details that came from that case, and the horrible things that were done to her children were horrible, but they were basically, if I could put it on a spectrum, and I've shared this before, if I could put it on a spectrum of here's Tylee and JJ, which is the worst case scenario, right? You don't want to find your kids like that. Okay. Then you have Melanie Pulowski over here, and we've got Chad Daybell turning the darkness, turning the pain up, and uh, you know, the rating system, that's not just Chad's. Okay. It's not. This is a inverted religion, and it's not just to the LDS religion. It's in all religions. Diddy uses hip hop as his vehicle. So it's the vehicle to which they can infiltrate, and dun da da da, here we are. Okay. So it's time to get over that belief. I mean, just believe it's real. It's so real. Tylee and JJ, Charles, Tammy, Joe, they're not here. They haven't been here in a long time. Not breathing. They're not here living life with us. They were stolen, and they were ripped. They were tears, basically. And so it's not just here. It's not just in the church. It's in all the church. It's everywhere. It's wherever someone who's in the system that's inverted can exploit. And every aspect. Chad Daybell, basically the day my uncle was killed. Okay. Chad Daybell is calling and making arrangements, acting like the ball, and just stupid shit. Okay. And he's like handling even the burial or the final resting place for all of my family members' remains. And that is just an extra twisted, sadistic element of this movement of people. Okay. They will exploit you. Frank Vandersloot owns East Idaho News. He started that. He bought it from the church, Bonneville Communications. And then here we are, and East Idaho News is putting out the narrative, in my opinion, of my family's case. Whitewashing things, in my opinion. Okay? That's just the way it looks to me. I've not ever been I've met Nate, I've met those guys, those reporters for East Idaho News. Never has, and I've heard him say it because I watch every interview. I do. It's what I do. Where he's like, I want to talk to anybody. I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, no, you don't. My phone does not ring. No eye contact whenever I do see you. It's very odd. And it's offensive. It's like, why does my voice not matter, or my experience? I'm not know all be all. I'm nothing. It's my family though. And I just think that's odd. I think it's odd. And I'm not the only person. Megan too. So it's interesting when you look at the different, and I'm not trying to pit any family member against one another. Jesus Christ, everybody does that enough themselves. Okay. I'm just saying, look at the bigger picture and say, how come, these people go there and, numbers, views. I'm not comparing at all, because everybody's experience is relevant, and nobody gets to tell any one of us or myself how to grieve. Right. But I'm just saying in the algorithm or whatever, it's like, anyways, it's just interesting just to have witnessed with my own two eyes. It's the most it is inverted. This world is inverted, and it's very uncomfortable. It's just, you got to drink some V8 juice afterwards, right? Michael Washburn, though, so we'll have to do some research into that. I know Megan is doing a deep dive into this too, and if I know she had asked me, but I don't know if she still wanted to, but about doing maybe she'll do one, and I don't know, but drawing the parallels between Ruby and Lori. That's all I do, right? That's all I do. That's all I've been doing. And I know y'all probably are like, "Oh my god, here she goes again." I'm like Rain Man. Anyways, all right. Okay, so hopefully, I would love to, yeah, talk about this. She's much more disciplined than I am for sure. But anyways, either way, please support her, Megan Connor. She's Lori, Alex, and Stacy, and oh my gosh, Adam and Summer's first cousin. So, but she don't belong to them anymore. We've adopted her. Okay, she's my sister from another mister. All right. All right, so it's Jodi Hildebrant, Ruby Franke, ConneXions Classroom LLC, Michael Washburn, an individual and those 1 through 10, right? Individuals. So there's up to 10 other people, I guess, Interesting. And so it says complaint and jury demand. So these people, Michael Tilleman here is demanding that this be heard, heard in front of a jury, not just a judge. Okay, so and it's a civil lawsuit. And so I was like, how is it civil lawsuit, but yet it's filed in federal court? Same thing I thought and wondered a lot was, how is it civil in a federal court? Because I remember when the women that are accusing Tim Ballard and friends and all, how this happened with them too. Because as soon as Diddy came out, they did that. Oh, and the TVPRA, which I don't know that somebody hopefully can put it in the chat, but it's like the trafficking victim something something. It's till February 25th this year. So this month, it's February 1st today. February 25th, I want to say, is the deadline for that window. It's like they opened up for a longer oh my god, statute of limitations. Okay, so if you've been harmed in any way, shape, or form by anyone, I would say now's your chance. Don't be scared. You've got a whole army behind you. Okay, don't be scared. It's time for this shit to come to the surface so we can clean house. Because if not, we will end up as slaves, as M. Russell Ballard allegedly told Tim Ballard and Ken Krogh. They told, and I mean, I heard it on the audio. They told Celeste Borges that, Elder Ballard said, if you don't basically create this nonprofit, then, or whatever, and you'll be slaves in 10 years. And I'm just like, interesting. And then they have Slave Stealers LLC. It's just interesting, word plays. ConneXions is also connected to Ken Krogh and Tom Harrison, Visions of Glory, right? She had a podcast with them. They were very much intertwined. And this is that part I forgot to tell you earlier. Ken Krogh entered the Hamblin case. And I was like, oh, look, Jason was in the bathroom. And I was watching Goel and his latest about Joe Binion. He was supposed to have Joe Binion be deposed. Okay. But he pussyfooted around. Anyways, it's a big, hairy mess. But I heard Goel say that Joe Binion allegedly had Ken Krogh deposed. And I was like, what did he just say? What? A sphincter says what? I mean, I was like, oh, he's over there with Tim, like he's not over here with the Hamblin case yet until now. And I was like, motherfucker, I'm right. I don't want to be right. But I'm just like, how the hell is Ken Krogh over here in this in the Hamblin lane, in Hamblin Levitt lane? And then how is he over here with Tim Ballard lane? How is he over here with Jodi? How is he over here, with speaking on the same circuit as Chad? and has my family's case videos on his YouTube channel on a playlist. How does he have Gordon Bowen also on a playlist? It's fucking crazy. These people are, I'm like, I don't, so that's that whole thing. Like Mitt Romney's like poo poo on Tim. And then Gordon's like, to hell with Tim. He was like, I'm going to write the church email to Vice News and publicly denounce him. He did. Okay. He did. Allegedly. And the church let him. So yeah, there's that. And he's a billionaire. So nothing to worry about. He used to live over there in New York. Hamptons and stuff. I wonder if he ever went to a freak off. Anyways. But yeah, so Ken Krogh entered the Hamblin chat, I'll say. It was right here. This is from let me just do this. Many of you have followed my stalking case involving the alleged satanic pedophiles, child R's, child M's, and peyote enthusiasts Joe and Lee Binion of Spring City, Utah, another southern city there. In December, I had my evidentiary hearing before fill-in judge Scanchi, who had to occupy the gap between Judge Marvin Bagley's September 30th, 2024 retirement. He retired just before this. It's interesting too. Okay, it says that it was originally scheduled for November. Okay, it says after much, here we go. Okay, I was like, Jason was like, I can tell you sound like a schoolgirl. I'm like, I'm so glad you can't see my face right now because I was like, I was like, what? After much delay and many shenanigans by the Binions, who deposed Ken Krogh while skipping their own scheduled depositions, and who attempted to use discovery to find out the identities of confidential sources, we had our hearing in December. Now, there's not much here, I'm just like, I need more than that. I was thinking that Ken Krogh, I'm like, well, I'm thinking of us versus them in this, not black and white. I'm just in this moment, because I got to figure out why is Ken Krogh over here in this area? And so I'm sitting here, I'm still processing. If anybody knows, please feel free. Please let me know. I mean, I'm going to ask OL, but I haven't had time today to text him and find out if he's not obligated to tell me either, so anywho, I'm just trying to figure out who's who in the zoo, I want to know, because I mean, we have the 2016 infamous precursor to the 2019 whiteboard meeting that Lynn Packer reported on, and that allegedly, apparently, maybe the word is that, the investigators were really interested in that 2019 infamous whiteboard meeting. I call it the whiteboard prophecy because that was the beginning of the end, just proselytize and monetize and fill their pockets so that they can welcome Jesus, which that's what the second coming means in Lori language. Lori told my uncle she's doing this, the 144,000 for the second coming of Jesus. That really means, hey, I'm in the secret society and I'm kicking you to the curb because you're just another one of my sacrifices that will get me and feed my demons. I don't really know. I wasn't there, and nor do I don't want the invitation. I rebuke it. Okay. I suggest y'all do the same. But, the same language is it's call language. It is just like Julie Rowe, her call outs. Okay. This is what this is. And they do it in plain sight. And so I'm thinking, okay, well, obviously I haven't seen them communicating, hey, let's go have a gathering tonight. And we're going to, at the harvest, and we're going to harvest, Tylee and JJ. I'm sorry. Yeah, I know. Shocking, right? But it's the truth. So it should be shocking. I will be shocked if you're not shocked. Okay. So they talk about this in plain sight through their books, their writings, their podcasts, them talking, through Julie Rowe acting like an idiot with her weird language, Mike Stroud doing the same thing. These guys, in my opinion, belong to the LDS Church of Satan, alleged, and that they are very inverted. This is generational, so it would have had to have been plaguing the Cox family, in my opinion. You got Summer texting those male-female symbols too. She's allegedly, I've got some really weird pictures that I, skimmed off of her Facebook or whatever that are just interesting. Now, I'm not here to say, again, I wasn't there. I was not there. I was not there with Lori when she was being raised in her young life. But these people who are perpetrators were also victims at one time. And that's exactly, in my opinion, what they were training Ruby's two kids for, if not all of them. I don't know. I don't know unless, I mean, it's takes a little bit for people like Sherry, she's in her 20s. I'm not going to sit here and tell her narrative, just like I'm not going to tell Colby his, and I hope nobody tells my story for me, like it's mine. They have a voice. Then they'll find out on their own if this is it. I'm not going to force it. All I can do is present it as I'm pulling it together. And if it doesn't work, throw it away, But it's like you come out of that thinking, Colby said it last night in his live stream, that he was, it's like a expectation or a perspective that we just like buy into or just are indoctrinated, so to speak. And so it takes a little bit to come out of that fog and realize that, oh my God, my mom is shitty. Wow. And so then you start seeing all the red flags, all the things, and then so it's happening though. And so that to me is one of the greatest justice steps in this process is awareness, just acknowledging these things. That is huge. Once you do that, it's hard, but it's worth it. It's worth it. Anyways, all that just to say the King Crow entered the Hamblin chat. Okay. So I'm going to be following this because I was like, what the hell? Yeah, he uploaded, his documents. I'm a subscriber because I believe in supporting people who are fighting these people. Okay. They don't fight fair. Trust me. Look at Charles, look at Tammy, look at Joe, look at JJ and Tylee. They don't fight fair. Okay. My mom was marked as Rhonda and a zombie. She was on their hit list. Whatever. Y'all say it's a cult. There's other people who are not in jail. There's way more people who are not in jail than there are people who are in jail and should be, in my opinion. All right, let me get back over here. All right, so going on to page 1. Plaintiff Michael Robert Tilleman, plaintiff, hereby files this complaint against defendants Jodi Hildebrant, Ruby Franke, ConneXions Classroom, LLC, and Michael Washburn, aka Savage, or Mikal. I don't know how to say her name, okay? It's a girl. We're just going to call her Savage, okay? Collectively, they're going to call them defendants. And for his claims. Oh, Michael. Okay. I'm like, wait, what? Okay. And for his claims, alleges as follows. And so his introduction, page 2, it says, 1, in August 2023, the world was shocked to learn that Ruby Franke, a parenting social media influencer, and her business partner, Jodi Hildebrant, a former therapist, had been torturing 2 of Franke's small children at Hildebrandt's residence outside of St. George, Utah. That's where Janice and Barry live. I mean, Gordon Bowen plays pickleball. I'm just like, somebody tell Adam, just beware, because I know he teaches it. I don't think he lives there anymore, but still, just, oh, Lord. Both women pleaded guilty to 4 counts of felony aggravated child abuse after Franke's 12-year-old emaciated son escaped and asked a neighbor for help. That was horrible. Ugh. I still listen to it. I mean, that man and that woman, the neighbors, oh my God. Bless them. That's all I can say. As serious and troubling as these facts are, they are part of a larger scheme spanning nearly 2 decades whereby Franke Hildebrandt and others known, and this was interesting, others known and unknown. I was like, here we go again. Here we go again. Okay. I can tell you, call me. And others known and unknown have been engaging in a widespread racketeering enterprise. I was like, my head was going to spin. Racketeering enterprise in pursuit of power and profit through the advertisement, sale, and provision of fraudulent services and products designed to prey, P-R-E-Y, on vulnerable individuals and encourage victims to perpetuate illegal acts onto others. The enterprise. Plaintiff Michael Tilleman brings this action for damages and injunctive relief as one of the victims of this racketeering scheme. Number 2, Hildebrandt and several other individuals, known and unknown, including Franke, Pam Botcher. I had that apocalyptic dream about her and her husband that one time. That was crazy. I don't never have those kind of dreams. I haven't had one since. Okay, sorry. Including Franke, Pam Botcher, and Savage, comprised an organized criminal enterprise within the meaning of Title 18, United States Code, Section 1961, 4, that is a group of individuals associated in fact that was engaged in, of individuals associated in fact that was engaged in, and the activities of which affected interstate and foreign commerce. Yeah, buddy. We are here. Number 3, Hildebrandt is the founder of several entities. ConneXions Mental Fitness Trainers, LLC. Can you imagine? And the ConneXions Foundation. ConneXions Mental, and potentially, I can't say things. And potentially ConneXions Mental Fitness Trainers, LLC, and the ConneXions Foundation form the business conduit of the enterprise. We're going to hear some things. Now, whether they're true or not, only time will tell, you know. Okay. In leading ConneXions and her other various entities, Hildebrandt relied on several individuals, including Franke, to recruit other members to ConneXions and the enterprise and carry out her directives. She was a dang cult leader, allegedly. Through ConneXions and the enterprise, defendants purport to offer valuable marital self-improvement and group session counseling, classes, workshops, and digital and written materials in exchange for lucrative fees. And I mean, the church is to blame for some of that too. Oh, I wonder if this makes Adam Steed feel relieved or validated, and Jesse as well. I hope it does. I would love to talk to them one day. Oh my God. All right. Okay. But these counseling services, did I do it right? Did I say that? Yeah, I did. But these counseling services, classes, workshops, lessons, and digital and written materials are fraudulent through the enterprise. Hildebrandt and other members of the enterprise, including defendants, prey on individuals in vulnerable positions who are seeking legitimate mental health services and indoctrinate members into the enterprise. So it sounds like recruiting, huh? Instructing her associates to perpetuate child abuse, child torture, and psychological abuse on any individual in their lives not deemed to be in what Hildebrandt has coined truth. So, in my opinion, it appears to look like this would be equivalent, the statement that we just read, would be equivalent to Chad Daybell and his light and dark ratings, you know, because if you're not light, which is truth, then you're dark, which is no bueno, right? We know how that goes. I.e., aligning with Hildebrandt's will. Number 5, under the guise of providing help to those in need, ConneXions fraudulent services are intended to bring individuals under the enterprise's financial and psychological control entice victims to spend money on fraudulently advertised services, which perpetuate and promote child abuse and other illegal acts, encourage psychological abuse, and ultimately break families, right? I mean, I know that Lori wasn't part of ConneXions, at least not directly. And, Uncle Charles told her that she was a destroyer of families. And I was like, no truer statement. No truer statement. Okay. So let's continue. Y'all know I got to find my spot. Okay. Number 6, Hildebrandt, I think, right? Yep. Number 6, Hildebrandt teaches her associates that when they are in truth, they should perpetuate horrific. What? That's kind of backwards. Wait. Hildebrandt teaches her associates that when they are in the truth, that's when they perpetuate horrific acts on anyone and distortion. Oh, that's dark. Because they're healers, right? This is their whole gig. This is the healing music. Music and healing are like this, okay? This is how this goes. Ruby, oh my God, wait. Oh, in the Hamblin case, there are victim statements about, the Hamblin daughters. They talk about how they were made to allegedly go to like Gordon Bowen's house, allegedly. I'm sorry for the allegedly. I don't want to die. And they would like be in the balconies as children. Okay. These are children. Think about this. And these very elite parties, basically a Mormon freak off is what I imagine now for sure. After Diddy came out, I was like, oh God, this is not good. And so they would play their harps and stuff. And then, but they allege that their dad, David Hamblin, and their mom, Rosie Anderson Hamblin Stevenson, who's in jail for this. She was arrested on some charges of abuse and all this. She same thing. And in southern Utah. And they would allegedly train their girls. People would send their children allegedly to David Hamblin for him to train them. This is, in my opinion, this reflects wonderfully. It reflects so bright on what Ruby and Jodi were doing with those 2 kids that were found, I'd say days from being dead, okay? From being Tylee and JJ in the spectrum. Then you got Melanie Pulaski over here. Her kids were entering the danger zone for sure. So it's a spectrum of, it's like we got to see it in different levels of this, right? And I think that is absolutely batshit crazy and just, oh my God, it's so bad. But this is what they are doing. They're like, oh, that's why they feel like they're persecuted. That's why they act like they're persecuted. They are infiltrated. I mean, they were, I would say, in my opinion, I don't know this, but I would say, I think Jodi wrote about it in her book, one of her books, You Are Not Enough, I think. Having been SA'd as a child, and then the dynamics between Jodi and her mom and her dad and her siblings and all. And it really does paint a much clearer picture as to why Jodi is the way she is. I don't know much about Gordon Bowen's dad and mom. I just think that Gordon Bowen comes from a very wealthy, whatever, enterprise. I don't know. And, and then there's David Levitt, David Hamblin. They are related down the line. David Levitt is related to, Jacob Hamblin. He's known in the beginning of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Jacob Hamblin was his great whatever grandfather. But they're all related some way, shape, or form. Also, another thing that some of you who follow like the Lifeboat and Reese, they're talking about the Order of the Jesters. And I'll be damned if I did not stumble into that rat's nest. I was like, no, okay, we can't have all these orders. We can't have the damn Knights Templar. We can't have all these degrees, okay? The glory we got. Oh my God. So really what we need to do is just talk a lot and continue to just make these connections, because because it's truth. Okay. It's truth. And we don't want to live in distortion. Okay. And allegedly. I'm going to throw up. Let me pull myself off the screen. How are you guys doing? I'm going to check on you guys real quick. Lucrative fees. Yep. Greed as always. I mean, does anybody in here? I want to know. I need a reaction because I want to read the room. I want to know where you're at. Do you see the same pattern as what was happening with R and E, Ruby's two kids? I mean, this, in my opinion, is where I believe Kevin would be involved. Okay, because I don't think I saw how that. I didn't watch it from beginning to end. I didn't watch the 8 passengers when they hit the public airwaves. As far as holy crap, all this really bad stuff. I was like, holy shit. But I watched a lot. Oh, here we go. Do y'all believe that if, let's say, if I'm just saying, I'm just going to say hypothetical, so I don't have to say all the allegedlys. But if I'm sorry, if I was going to say Joe Schmo, but never mind. Can't do that anymore. If Tom, Dick, and Harry over here is training his kids and others, that's like the whole gig, right? If this therapist, I mean, because that's what this person is over here, the Hamblin, he was a psychologist, y'all. Oh my gosh. And so within this network, they only deal with one another. Okay. They that's what they do. Look at Melanie Gibb, look at Zalima, look at Christina, Serena, Audrey. They don't open up too much, but they like their ego stroked. It does appear. But I also try to factor in that these guys, these ladies, these people, it's generational. And so somewhere early on, they most likely were had their innocence stolen. And that's the whole point of this thing, is to shatter the mind, because when you're little, you cannot handle that. Okay. You can't handle, your mind cannot I mean, I'm sorry. This has happened to me too. And I'm sorry. I'm sometimes way too open with it. I guess because I think about this all the damn time. Y'all do? It does, huh? I mean, especially with the oldest of Ruby and Kevin, Chad. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say this was his experience or anybody else's for that matter. Just know that. But it looks awful familiar. And then there in the diaries, let me wipe this off. In Ruby Franke's own diaries, okay, that I believe that this is how the system kind of works, whether it's just the closest like thing that I can think of is, it's like Melanie Gibb writing a book. Like, she was told that she needed to write a book in order to be in the club. She's already in the club. Okay. This is a clique. David Warwick, he's already in the club. They are all in here. And there are roles that are played or assigned. There's peacemakers. Okay. There's protectors. Might want to put a pin in that one. Protectors. There are the Peter Familius. There is the conspirator. There is the what do you call that? Not a lurker. Melanie Gibb, base surveillance. Okay. And then they surveil each other too. So it's a very backstabby, blackmail-y kind of situation. Okay. But that's where I believe Pam Bochner, in my opinion, was another part of this. I mean, she had people coming in from where? Overseas somewhere, right? And then Jodi had somebody staying, or some people staying in her Airbnb. What was going on? But I have not heard one inkling of any kind of SA, except, I just thought about this, except for the part that I don't know whether it's true or not. I remember hearing this, so this is just hearsay. But it was alleged that Jodi or Ruby. I think it was both different things. So I don't, let me just say it so it'll register or tell me. But yeah. Yes, Ravina. That's the most beautiful. That's beautiful. Ah, right. Hold on. I'm gonna get back to it. Crap. Hold on. Shit. What was I gonna say? It doesn't take much. And it's a great comment. It's gonna have to do an Adam Steed at the next press conference where everyone is there. I will get her practicing the pitch. Right? Y'all, that was the best that was the best ever. It really was. It was Adam Steed bouncing up on the damn courtroom stoop, in front of the courthouse right after, I guess after they were told they were guilty, or was it after? Either way, those hookers were finally being held accountable. And hold on, let me type so I'm not sitting here in the dark. Like, I hate the way the lighting does. I don't know what the point of having a ring camera is. I mean, a ring light. Adam Steed. Okay, interview, right? We'll that way I can, that was the best ever. I was like, oh my God. I mean, this guy he's a true whistleblower because, I mean, that Adam Steed ties in my opinion, Frank Vandersloot, which is Southern Idaho, which is where Rexburg is, which is where Idaho Falls is, which is, okay, I'm just going to do this. Let's see. I need pictures. I do better with pictures, right? I have it on my channel, but I didn't even think about that. Oh, here. Well, where's this at? I'm just going to push it. No.
In light of events that happened today, I wanted.
No. Oh, nothing's ever easy, Oh, there. Nope. A lot of us covered it, it seems. I just don't want any commentary. Hold on. Not much longer. Difficult research. Yeah, here we go. All right. Let me hide.
Hi there. Okay, we've got another interview.
You guys want to know who Jodi Hildebrant?
Oh, let me back it up. That was the best part.
I'll answer your questions. He's her attorney. He can.
Boom. Okay. Oh, no shit. Look, she's like, hey.
We've got another interview.
You guys want to know who Jodi Hildebrant is?
Sorry.
Here, I'll answer your questions. He's her attorney. He can't answer them. My name's Adam Paul Steed. And if you guys want to know who Jodi Hildebrant is, I'll answer tons of questions about her. I know my dad. Hey, Dad, come here. Come here. My dad has a file at home that's probably about 2,500 pages of records from court filings and just a huge amount of documentation about Jodi Hildebrant that we will share with everybody. I want you to know the same court that has ordered us not to share these documents is covering up this racket that Jodi Hildebrant had with the Mormon Church in the 4th District Utah County Court. She abused my children the same way, almost. Even in a different type of abuse, I think it could be argued worse. And that was 15 years ago. And I fought against Jodi Hildebrant with my family and everybody to stop this monster of a lady. And Jodi went after me. She went after me, destroyed my life in the craziest way you could ever think of possible. Like, I was a victim of sexual abuse at Boy Scouts of America, Camp Little Lemhi in Idaho. My dad helped us stop a predator. You can read it in the national press and everything. We changed the laws of sexual abuse so victims could come forward. We got rid of the criminal and civil statute limitations. The Mormon Church knew who we were. And Elder Helam, Richard G. Helam, was like he was the president of the First Quorum of the 70, the top probably executive functioning leader of the whole Mormon church. And he sat with Jodi Hildebrant as they destroyed my life in this court racket, like they've destroyed countless other people's lives. And they even had the gall to order my Mormon Stories thing, where I brought some documentation off the internet saying that they didn't want me to say bad things to my children or in front of the children about my ex-wife. Well, if you're accused of sexual abuse by Jodi Hildebrant, and if your ex-wife performed a falsification of sexual abuse, that professionals looked at the documentation and said, this is sexual abuse. This is sexual abuse. We have documentation for sexual abuse of my children by Jodi Hildebrant and my ex-wife. And you know, this stuff was redacted in the Doppel paperwork. It was so horrible that it was redacted. And the courts just recently said I couldn't talk about my family or my ex-wife or anything. But if you have children, if your children were trained to think that your dad was sexual predator and a monster.
So I'm sorry, we came in a little bit late.
Why that's entirely right.
Okay, so there are tons, and it's not Jodi Hildebrant is the tip of the iceberg. The Mormon church was doing this operation where they were using religious beliefs and they were using ethical therapists to enforce them. And it was an area of exploitation, and it was a horrific area. It was exploitation because it created horrible divorces that should have been normal divorces. We're talking about hundreds and thousands of families going through these courts, and Jodi was like an icon. Her doctrine. Okay, so here's the problem. Everybody.
Today it sounds like it was a little bit of like justice for you too.
Oh, Jodi, yeah, Ruby Franke. When I saw Ruby Franke, I saw my ex-wife sitting there saying the exact same thing. That my ex-wife would have said the exact same thing Ruby Franke said today, and a lot of other women would have said the same thing. You have no idea how many victims are out there that are their minds have been messed up so much with this. The prosecutor said that he said that the children thought it was their fault. All of the adult men think it's their fault. All of the women think it's their fault. I have had countless emails and messages.
Sorry, what was your
I'm Adam Paul Steed. I'm the guy that got Jodi's license from Doppel removed. Well, my dad and mom get the credit, but you know, and they said that the Doppel department said we have evidence here for criminal charges against Jodi. This is 13 years ago. It's identical stuff. So I almost like fell over in the courtroom when I heard Jodi say that she loved those children. Jodi doesn't love children. Jodi's like Ted Bundy. In fact, one time I was in a. Do
you feel that she should have a longer sentence than
Jodi? Here's the problem. Somebody hits a person and runs. That's like two variables: a car and someone running. They catch them. Jodi's got like 30 variables, including a huge issue with the Mormon church racketing. I mean, they're all ducking low and covering. In fact, I looked at an email, and I can show this to you guys. It's this factual evidence where it should have been a neutral person in the courts. Kelly Peterson, the guardian ad litem, when they were punishing me in the family custody courts, he said that my act to turn Jodi Hildebrant in was an act of vengeance, and they took my kids away from me because I performed an act of vengeance. That's in this court was sitting there completely in bed with Jodi. They've done it. I talked to Doug Thayer's daughter. She saw relations. I mean, these aggressive attorneys working with Jodi, Commissioner Patton. All these people know about Jodi. The BYU Honor Code office before they kicked me out of school for being a whistleblower and child abuse. I guess Jodi went and told them I was the most dangerous man she'd ever met in her lifetime. We have hundreds of pages of this stuff of Jodi Hildebrant working with top church leaders to dispel me. I got kicked out of school my senior year. This lady, we've got all this documentation of how she talks, how she walks. Now, here's what I do want to say. I don't like Ruby Franke, but I don't know her. I just think you have to be a selfish person to fall for Jodi's stuff. She's got a certain kind of carrot that gets certain kind of people. But Ruby Franke would have never done any of this stuff if Jodi Hildebrant hadn't been the mastermind and just completely created this. Ruby Franke's not dangerous in the sense she's not going to go out and do this to more kids, but Jodi Hildebrant will. When we went to Doppel and we went to Doppel ordered her to go through all this ethical stuff. She went through the whole thing with shining colors, and she turned around and did the same stuff again. I mean, even when she was teaching us that we were safe to come to her and stuff, she was abusing children at the same time with one hand and teaching a godliness with another hand.
What's her motivation?
Jodi Hildebrant had a weird relationship with my ex-wife. It was a dual relationship. It was
right here, I have to say. Now, I mean, oh, hey, where am I at? Oh, because I don't have my thing on. Okay, real quick. You know, I don't know. I disagree with that aspect of it because again, when it involves this level of perversion, of sadistic child torture, child murder, just destroyer of families, okay? Annihilate. That's, I mean, just all the things that I know for sure that I've read about, that I've researched and learned about this case is that, and other cases of the like, okay, is that it's all about control. Okay. When they're diddling kids, it is not about a sexual attraction. Maybe there is some of them. I don't know. I'm not a professional, just an observation. But a lot of this is because they're forced to do it. There are some horrible stories in the Hamblin case. I have the entire file. Please, if you want, please just email me and I'll give you the whole damn Dropbox. Okay. It is crazy, but it sheds so much light reading about the alleged LDS Church of Satan beliefs, this inverted society for sure. In this case, in this whole Mormon cutout over here, okay, with all these people, it is the same thing, and it has been the same thing since the very beginning of the satanic panic. I mean, it goes back further than that, but I mean, this is where it's like, okay, with it was never addressed, right? It was swept under the rug. It was shh. Okay. You have Tom Harrison back in that time during the so-called satanic panic, which it is not. Okay. It is not. Okay. They're just telling us that we're not mature enough to handle it. Okay. Sit down. Okay. First off, I mean, again, but then I think, okay, well, it's maybe because it's like I have ties to Tylee and JJ and Charles, and I mean, by extension, Tammy and Joe, right? I love them. I love all of them. And so I'm just like, okay, but this is the end product. This is the evidence, okay? Dead people everywhere. 3 members of my family, I'm like, that's really crazy odds, right? And so that's the evidence to me. And I'm just like, I know that there was no crime scene for Tylee. In my opinion, that not a pickaxe and not, I'm sorry, it's triggering. I know, not a pickaxe and not just a little smidge here and a smidge there. No, that her remains are not even all together. I rewatched that last night. I watched, and this is horrible. But I watched a report a while back that I did not see during, was it Lori's or Chad's trial? I don't remember, but Joseph Scott Morgan, who is, oh crap, he has Body Bags podcast, right? Love him. And he's a forensic, I don't know the terms. Okay. Fill it in for me, please. But he had posited this theory that I had not heard. And I was just like, talk about mind shattering, okay, and heartbreaking all at the same time, and just a whole nother freaking level of of satanic behavior, okay, and trigger, okay, not that anything, all this other stuff isn't triggering. I get it, y'all, I get it, but I mean, I want to get to the root, okay. So if you're here to get to the root, let's do the damn thing, okay, so we can hurry him get out, if there is such a thing, okay. But he had posited that perhaps JJ was not dead whenever he was put into the ground and then became awakened in, a state of, basically in the ground, smother. That would be a smothering type thing. And then, because it was about the scratch marks on his neck. Okay. There was blood or something. And that usually blood doesn't pump after you're deceased. So I don't know, but it just, and I was not prepared for that. I was not prepared for that. I had researched everything. I was not prepared to learn that Tylee's remains were not all together, y'all. We were not prepared to see R in the state that he was found in. and E, his sister. We were not prepared for all this. We're not prepared. Okay. The human mind is just like, what? And that's why, you know, and that's why they do it. It's why they get away with it too. It's because we have to get comfortable talking about uncomfortable things. Anyways, I know we're veering way off because I'm driving this thing, but I don't put anything past them. Okay. I don't. You can't, well, I say you can't surprise me, but that surprised me if that were to be true. Also, I mean, here's this look, I am not a conspiracy theorist, never was really. I never wanted I did a term paper on JFK in 11th grade. Okay. And I was like, wow, it's pretty interesting. I was really interested in just his life. And, anyways, and I mean, it was so simple. And I didn't go further than that, really. Like I had just regular, normal problems and issues in life, before this these tragedies happened. Okay. Like I said, it blew my mind wide open, and I was just like a sponge, and I wanted to know anything and everything. I just really set out to find out where Lori and Chad's beliefs differed from the church, and then here I am. So holy crap. It's like you go into the store and you just go to get one thing and you end up with like, $5,000 bill. I don't know. That's rather high. But anyways, I mean, it's just like, what the hell did I just walk into? And then I can't look away because, oh my God, I can't. I mean, we've come this far, so I'm not stopping now. Y'all got to be tripping. And, it makes me wonder about John Benet Ramsey. And that's not just the famous ones, but I mean, I have not had time to like dive into these Abby and Libby. I'm just like, mm-mm, mm-mm. I feel like there are a lot of people who are in prison that have been put to death who are not at all. They are just a good scapegoat. They fit the evidence, or they make the evidence fit them. I've kind of witnessed that a little bit in Daybell Vallow stuff. I'm just like, don't force it. Don't make it fit. If it doesn't fit, if it doesn't go there, then okay, remove it. And a lot of this is the media. A lot of this is how they spin it, and they play on our emotions, you know, and it's crazy. It really is crazy to witness from my perspective for sure. I'm just like, what is this? It is very, very hard to deal with. Yeah, I know. Me too. It did. It does. You know, I don't know. It kind of helped me open my mind though to these kind of things happening. So, in a way, it's kind of like how Diddy's case and the public awareness that it has gotten has been effective in opening the minds of people who were either unaware of this stuff and just never even was like, what? And I mean, your worldview gets shattered by the second. Okay. You're like, yeah, nope, 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 not them either. And I mean, and then people, I see chats, where people are like, well, what if they're on the light side now? And I'm like, just don't even mess around. Just assume it's a no. Just assume that they are the damn devil himself. Okay. Just pretend. And then, just kind of, you ain't got to pick a side. You don't. Just be aware. Self-awareness is key, and not becoming complacent. Okay. That for real. Look around. Don't just go the same way you go home. I'm horrible about that. I used to be. But, we get complacent, and that's when things happen. I did a short bit on Ron Logan confessing to Abby and Libby's murders this morning, and yet Richard Allen will be in prison for the rest of his life, but he also confessed after 5 months in solitary. I mean, there are case studies of this. I'm not a professional. I don't know that much about this case. I followed it while it was in trial, and I thought I kind of followed it because, you know, I couldn't pick up on it at the time because I was overloaded, and then as I've kind of understood, like Gannon Stout or whatever the hell their last name is, like all these kids, and I'm just like, this is horrible. Summer Wells, Monkey, um, uh, Baby Dior. There are more kids, and I mean, they're just the wildest stories, right? But these people have more time. I mean, more money than I even know what to do with. And it's just, they're gross. They're nasty, y'all. I'm like, are they that bored? We need to try and find them a hobby besides humans, okay? Because it's nasty. And it's generational. It's like they have to do this, like initiation or something. I think when Lori and Chad went into the Church of the Firstborn, so to speak, it's just a club, okay? I mean, the temple is a secret society in and of itself. If you think about it, you have to have a card, okay? Me and you just can't go walk up in there unless it's not been, and get this, okay? Unless it's not been dedicated. So after Tylee and JJ were found in Rexburg, I mean, I'm just going to spin this. You can love it, leave it, whatever. Just want to get it off my chest. I've shared with you before about how, my friend Jen had sent me a video about the Hosanna Shout. And it's something that the Mormon Church does. I don't even know when, but it's called the Hosanna Shout. And they have a white handkerchief. Yes, they do. And the prophet and his first counselors, they get up and they say, Hosanna, Hosanna to God and the Lamb. I'm not going to repeat it because I'm not trying to bippity boppity anybody. Okay. Okay. But they say that 3 times, and I'm just like, I don't know, just things. My mind is very active. Okay. Let's just say that, obviously. And I was just like, oh my God, this is it. And then everybody in the congregation, and there's just people forever in a day. And they invite them to stand up and to do the Hosanna Shout, even during COVID. Okay. They were like, you could do it from your house. And I'm just like, this is sinister. And I'm like, this is like a mass participation, a mass ritual. And I mean, if you look at it that way, right? And so everybody's doing this and doing that, and people don't even know what I think is happening. I think that is to seal the deal, basically, like for, this season's sacrifices that were made. And then this is just me rando talking. I'm sorry. I'm probably going to lose people, but you're either here or you're not. I mean, I can't make you stay, but it's not illegal to hypothesize yet. I was very concerned, and I didn't know how to say this out loud, period, much less publicly. And so whenever I was able to talk to Goel, he was gracious enough to, talk to me. And, he believes in the restoration of the church, but he does not really align with, he believes I think that he believes that it's corrupt. A lot of saints do. Okay. They want to stay in their church. They want to keep that damn temple recommend. Okay. I want to know if Jodi and Ruby went to the damn temple, but I don't even think that's it. It's just, anyways. So I asked him, and this is so even hard for me to repeat. It's so, ugh. But I remember hearing stories about how, thank you, Marjorie. I'm with you too. I remember hearing accounts. I didn't know if they were true or not. And then we heard Heather Daybell testify about how she would see Chad Daybell's vehicle up at the meeting house when there was no services and stuff. And so that kind of gave the rumors, that I'd heard a little leg, and it grew some legs a little bit. And I'd heard, this is just a rumor, that Ian Pulowski and Chad Daybell would sacrifice cats there. And I was just like, okay, you hear all portaling. You hear all kinds of weird shit, and I ain't got no place for that, right? I'm just like, where do I put this? Okay. Until you need it again, you're like, oh, okay, so this is what's going on. Maybe. You've got the whole owl necklace. I want to do a whole freaking documentary if I have to, because it would take that. And I've gathered all kinds of things about why I think this is a satanic cult. Inversion, whatever you want to call it. It's a cancer, it's a rot, it's a plague, and it is ravishing our society, our children, for sure. And I'm not, look, I was not able to be the aunt to JJ that I had expected, my expectations, right? He ended up being adopted by my uncle and his wife. And then here we are, it's just like, whoa. I want to be the aunt that I feel JJ deserved. I do things and I just want to make them proud if they are looking down. If there's a window where they can see what's going on, or as if they are still here, I want to make them proud. I want to be the voice that I never had. I want to be that voice too for the kid inside of me. Okay? That this happened to as well. And we're not equipped with those tools. We're not equipped with the words. We're not equipped with where do you go with this? We don't even know sometimes if it's wrong, that it's wrong. We're just like, okay. I was 4 and 5 years old. And we don't ask for that. We were kids. We were innocent for anybody else who that's happened to. And I'm sorry for your experience. And I acknowledge you. I hear your voice. You're not a liar. I believe you. That's all we got to do. People, are just like, well, is she lying? It's the first thing we do with these cases. And it's bad. It is bad. And so to all who this has not happened to, who were not manipulated immorally as a child, count your blessings, really. And please help, Don't be judgmental. If so, pass it on to the perp, okay? That's where it goes. Place it where it goes. Hold these people accountable. Stop voting for them. Stop giving them power. I'm probably going to get cut. Okay? We give them power. If we don't show up, then they're not powerful. Nobody's listening, right? If we show up, even if it's just to be antagonistic or whatever, we're still showing up. You know what I'm saying? So you just have to remove yourself. Don't entertain it. That's what I do. Unless I have to go in and I'm like, oh. Anyways, I don't know. I've veered off so many times. All right. Oh, I'd asked Goel and I was like, I'm so sorry because I understand what a temple is for or church, because there's temples and then there's meeting houses. There's regular church and then there are those who answer, they schedule a interview with their stake president, with their bishop, and they have to take a test, which is basically like, do you align with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints? And they're like, yes. And then they're like, really? No. There's like 20 questions or so that, yeah, I was too, Kelly Kells. I was too. I'll get to it in just a second. But there's like a list of questions. And I want to go and pull up the ones for 2018, which is when Lori would have lied, so to speak, because Charles did talk to the stake president. He interviewed with him. Holmes, Brother Holmes, or Elder Holmes. I don't know what the hell to call him. Sorry. Stake President Holmes. We'll just say President Holmes. And Charles and Lori each, I don't know if they went in together. I have no idea. I was just listening to Adam's, phone conversation with Detective Moffat. We'll go over that tomorrow if y'all want to. But whether she lied or not, people do. Okay. People lie all the time. But it's just, It's one of those things where you're just like, why did Hector Sosa, they shut down a whole pathway to Zion, okay? A whole damn forum. And it was like that movie Fun with Dick and Jane. I know. I've said it bazillion times. I'll say it again. It's like that scene whenever the Enron or whatever the hell is shutting down and everybody's running with ficuses and shredding papers and everybody's just freaking hell out. They are gone. Okay. And because it's a Wild West, basically. And that's exactly how it appeared to me was, hey, let's shut down this. We'll put the accounts here. Money goes here. Nobody call me. I'll message you basically. Don't tell anybody basically what we're doing. And so that right there, all in of itself is like totally sus. That says, hey, I'm doing all kinds of really bad shit that, the general membership in my own church would not approve of. And that should piss the people off who these people have infiltrated your church. That's what I'm saying. Stop defending them and stop enabling them too, please. For Tylee, for JJ, for R, for E, for little Jesse, for little Adam, and all the people in and between these. Oh my God, it's bad. And so stop enabling that. Stop giving these people power. Stop it. Stop letting them around your kids. Okay. All right. Okay. Anyways, let me go back to that. I was like impressed with Ian at first. Like, he set them up as soon as he knew, but then he said in an interview that it wasn't as hype as people were making out to be like, what? Right. Yeah. And I mean, I wanted to believe that too. But then, you go on in this process and you're just like, yeah, no, I mean, he was willing. He even gave up visitation with his children, according to Brandon's filings. And Natalie, I've talked to Natalie. I've met her. She's awesome. I love her. She is the most down to earth Mormon, ex-Mormon, whatever, that I've ever met. She is like good people. And I met her kids, and I don't know. There's just certain families that their bloodlines are a huge thing. That is the crux of this thing. Bloodlines. Matching them up, pairing them off, okay? Now whether that's what polygamy is all about and practice secretly, that's where my money goes. My money goes there. And whether it was just a proxy or I was not there. It's between them and my good Lord, okay? That's between them and anyways. Now, so I don't know if the church is responsible for wiping them up basically, and it just went batshit crazy from there, or if they knew each other longer. I have no idea. And I'll never know because the church is protected, First Amendment. I don't know where this goes, but I asked Goel, this reminds me of that. And I was like, okay, well, what I want to ask you, I was like, it's protected by the First Amendment, and probably all kinds of other things. I'm like, I feel like, what if they would have passed all of these victims through the church and did some is that where the crime scene is? And I'm sorry, I just want to ask, can I ask the question? I think it's a very, plausible question. I just want to ask it. I want to put that out there. Okay. Chad had access. He was a ward clerk. He worked in the, meeting house. And I'm like, well, and so Goel he answered. He didn't even, it didn't even surprise him. And I was just like, okay, good. I didn't want to offend him. It's very hard to talk about these people. This is where they worship. Okay. I don't want to even say that. I didn't want to think that, but I did. Why was Tammy moved? Where is the crime scene? Where is this lot? Okay, because there's also a casting lot. If you look up in Bruce R. McConkey's Mormon Doctrine book, there's a casting lot, it's called. Because they're casting, because it's witchcraft, the dark kind. Not the kind if you know what I mean. These people, okay? We're talking about these people. Yeah, maybe. I mean, it has to be. It has to be. Or some kind of voodoo, I don't know. Hey, Sonia, how are you doing? How are you? Yeah, it could be. I don't know. I don't think she's going to be held accountable. It's nuts. It plagues me. I don't even know how to present and go over Uncle Charles's case because I'm just like, I want to talk about Brandon too. And I think we should. I think we should just talk about whatever we want to talk about. It's all because I'm like, okay, it's hard. I don't know how to separate because this is my family. So it's all, together. And so that's impossible for me to detach and remove my emotions. And I mean, I would love to, but that's not reality. Or, I wish I could. Anyways, all right, let's get back to this. It's already almost 2 hours. I've not been being a good girl like Ruby. But I'm not a bad girl. That's another thing. I'm not naughty. I'm not a naughty girl. There you go. We need Adam Steed, right? I mean, his parents. Can we just give it up for his parents, y'all? I mean, they lost. His dad worked for BYU, as a lot of people do, and Kevin Franke did. And it's just their livelihoods are tied up. Their playmates for their kids. They. It's a very echo chamber society, self-reliant. And anyways, we'll finish this little spot
is
and then
bordering sexual in nature. I mean, she went through different women that made her look powerful and important. My ex-wife's dad was an Area 70 in the Mormon church, and Jodi Hildebrant wanted power but I know her instincts. When you're in a pain and suffering, when you talk about something and she finds a way to hurt you, it makes her blush. It makes her feel euphoric. I've seen her act that way and look that way in the worst of circumstances. So I always compare Jodi Hildebrant to Ted Bundy because nobody can figure out why a serial killer would kill people. Jodi Hildebrant, she grows off of people's pain and destruction. And when she sat there and said she loved those kids, I almost fell out of my chair. The only thing her version of loving children is find a way to make them hurt more than anything possible. It's like an energy she feeds off of.
Thank you so much, Adam.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry, I didn't. It's a little traumatic for me, so if I monologue,
you're doing great,
I'm sorry.
dude.
Does anybody have a question?
Covered a lot.
We got a ton of documentation. That 4th District Court's got to be ducking their heads right now because I do want to say something. There's countless children out there that have been raised to believe their fathers are predators because of Jodi Hildebrant. And the 4th District Court and other courts involved don't want to show they made mistakes. So who's going to help those children? Like, who's going to help them? Like, this is a court of public opinion. People need to find out the truth to go help all these children and help all these people come forward. And the fact that the court tried to silence me for being on the front edge of coming forward is just an example of how the same notorious people in power back then that allowed Jodi to do all this stuff are alive and thriving today. And if you give a damn about our children, you got to do the same thing I do and fight for what's true.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Adam. Thank you, Adam. That was Adam Steed.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, right.
The reason why I wanted to talk to you is I am conducting an ongoing investigation.
What is that? That looks familiar. Oh, where is that? Who is that? Who? Oh, Jeffrey. It just told me. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Hold on. I'm having issues back here. Let's see. Let me do this. Let me do this. I'm acting like I am brand new. Okay. Now we're back at it. Okay. All right. Let's just trudge through. Okay. 6. Hildebrandt teaches her associates that when they are in the truth, they should perpetuate horrific acts on anyone in distortion. In reality, Hildebrandt indoctrinates her victims with the false mentality that anyone who disagrees with the truth is in distortion and is the enemy. Hildebrandt teaches her associates and enterprise members to inflict pain, often taking the form of physical abuse and torture on individuals in distortion to bring them into truth. Number 7, after representing that ConneXions offers run-of-the-mill counseling and self-help services to entice That is an interesting word right there. Chad Daybell uses that word. Entice. So does Tim. Entice victims already in a mentally vulnerable position. The enterprise then incrementally introduces Hildebrandt's methodology through a series of workshops and counseling sessions conducted through ConneXions. To me, this kind of mimics and echoes, you know, how there are members in the church who are just members, you know, they just go to the church meeting houses like we were just talking about. And then there are those who double down, in my opinion, like Lori Vallow. She's like, "You going to give me my temple recommend or I'm going to commit murder?" Basically, that's what she said. She told her bishop, okay, whether she did or not, don't even care. Okay. The fact that she felt good enough to say that in front of her cult friends, yeah, that's a, you know, without us listening in, this is like way before, not way before, but it was before all this tragic deaths happened. Okay. So they weren't trying to impress us, is what I'm saying. Anyways, it says familiarizing enterprise victims with Hildebrandt's identity as a thought leader to gain trust. And then eventually demanding that victims accept that only Hildebrandt herself can help them achieve betterment of their lives through inflicting pain, punishment, and even physical torture onto others. And I mean, hasn't it been stated that Kevin Franke, I think, said that Jodi wore long sleeve shirts because she was a cutter? Self-harm. It's like a shame game, you know, that it's another way to control. I believe this, you know, is these predators are made, in my opinion, like, because I feel like Alex was Lori's protector, right? Well, that means Adam and Summer would have had to have had roles. Someone's the conspirator, someone's the Peter Familius, which is usually the dad. Someone is the Punisher, someone is the looky-loo, basically to surveil people, you know? There's that kind of stuff going on. You got Janice Cox saying, you know, or I think it was Janice. It was Janice or Summer. I don't know right the second, but you know, do you want me to asking Lori, do you want me to run interference with Charles and Adam, basically, because they were wanting to confront Lori about her wild beliefs. That's it. That's it. It was like doing an intervention on intervention, you know, except the drug was not hyper. I don't think it's hyper religiosity. I think it's this cult, and it makes a lot of sense in the manner that we have not seen any of. I mean, a few people, barely in any of these cases. Okay, you've not had Chad Daybell's family really step forward, and his kids with their raccoon references and everything. They're communicating in plain sight. We just have to like tune ourselves to pay attention to what they're saying. You know, Julie Rowe, I'd shared last week, I believe, that Julie Rowe had on the day that the kids were found on Chad Daybell's property. Hold on, let me pull it up. Julie, I'll show you because I can show you better than I can tell you. I did not take note or, you know, really even notice these things until I was, you know, I've been working on my Julie Rowe series or whatever. And all of the other things too, but it's just interesting. I did not realize this, but out of all the photos, she don't even look good, okay? I'm just being honest. This says Tuesday, June 9th, 2020. Facebook, Julie Rowe. Got the heartbreaking news today. My nightmares have come true. Chad Daybell has been arrested and human remains have been found on his property. I believe Julie Rowe knows exactly what was going on. Maybe she's a conspirator, you know, just to kind of turn everything around, right? And a call out girl. I was hoping my nightmares were wrong. Just all your dreams and visions are wrong, girl. Anyways, sorry, I gotta lighten it up. That this was just my subconscious fear. Another view, I'm sorry, she says, another interview with Nancy Grace coming the week of June 24, 2020. She's plugging, okay? The first one was a few weeks ago, and it will air in 2 segments on June 30, 2020. I hate doing the media interviews, but continue to do them to expose the darkness. Okay? Girl. All right. Stay tuned. I am sharing more with East Idaho News, A&E, Nancy Grace, police, and FBI. I want justice served. My heart is broken for Tammy, Charles, the children, and I can't believe she freaking said my mom's and dad's name, Kay and Larry. Sorry, I'm trying to keep my words in, my choice words, and all those who have been injured in any form. My heart is breaking. Feel like it's being crushed. So we go pose in front of a goddamn pizza place. That's what we do. And then we share it on Facebook. Not a mountain, nowhere serene, or just not your face at all. How about, it ain't about you, Julie, but this is what she does. And so I was like, mother cracker, holy shit. Why would she do that? And then I remember Melanie Gibb talking about a pizza box and JJ cutting a pizza box. I don't know about Pizzagate. Okay. It was way before I even entered this world. Okay. And I didn't even know there were labels and stuff like this. I was just like, what the hell is QAnon? What? Because all this was happening kind of, I guess, I don't know. Again, I didn't pay attention to these things. I was in my own little world with my head up my own rear end. I was walking through life just ignorant. Okay. Ignorant. And I didn't like the news because it was scary. It gave me anxiety, I don't like it. I don't like anxiety. It sucks. So I just kind of learned what I had to, or what I overheard, or, anyways, I lived, I didn't die not knowing the news. It's what they want to purport anyways. It turns out it's crazy. These are real stories, real lives. It's just narratives. It is preying on people's emotions, it's also mocking, and it's also exploiting the victim even more. There's not one part of the victim that is not exploited. Think about it. It is wild. Okay. Anyways, all that just to say that. Okay, and then eventually, right here. Okay. Number 8, the enterprise demands that its victims accept Hildebrandt's authority as absolute. That's an interesting word because this is Freemason talk right here. And Chad and Lori and Zalema and all them, they always said absolute. Absolutely. Absolute. Anyways, just one of those things, how my brain works. If enterprise victims who sought out connections seeking routine counseling refuse to submit to Hildebrandt's control, the enterprise turns and punishes them as someone in distortion. So you're dark. Okay. You are a zombie. You're in distortion. Same thing, different case, right? Somewhat. 9, as evidenced by the despicable and widely publicized torture of Franke's children, Hildebrandt, Franke, and other members of the enterprise are encouraged to punish those in distortion by any means necessary. Why? It's just such backwards thinking. And this is why I was so scared to learn how many people live in zombie distortion land, okay? Who think this very same thing. There are more, y'all. And so put on your freaking boots, strap them up, okay? Because you can't give up now. Okay. We pretty much have this case understood. All these aspects of this enterprise. Okay. We do. We just have to share. We have to share this with everybody. Not this video. Just share what you pick up. Share it. Share it here. Share it. What you learn here, and share it everywhere that you go. Plant a seed. Okay. And as demonstrated by the tragic and criminal treatment of Franke's children, the enterprise encourages its members to punish individuals to the brink of death. Yes. Another theory I have, I'm sorry, y'all, I keep stopping, but another theory I have is that there's a part in Ruby Franke's journals that she, wrote and kept up with and documented her own damn abuse. Okay. Dumbass. And she wrote about how she was talking to R, and she said something about hearing me through the water or something like that. And I was like, I wonder if she's got a damn bag on his head, because that's another form of this. And it made me think of JJ, how that could have been a possibility. Because, okay, and here's another gross, weird aspect of this crazy shit. And that is the whole, and I've done minimal research into this. I implore you, like, just please go do research on adrenochrome. I'm only going to say it that one time. From here, I'm going to say Drano. Okay, I'm just going to call it Drano because it's disgusting, but it makes sense in this apparatus of cuckoo cachoo. Okay, it is some batshit crazy beliefs. Okay, these people are disgusting. And this is true. This is true for Tylee, JJ. This is true for all the other kids that are named and unnamed and found and not found or identified yet or not, who are going through this right now, who, we can't see in people's basements, We don't know if they're being tricked out to other people. It's disgusting. It really is. Anyways, but is it possible that, I mean, I don't think that JJ was an accident, just like I don't think Tylee was an accident by far. I think that they were planned, but they pushed him onto the brink of death so that they can, allegedly, they can draw out, it's a chemical that Tim Ballard talks about, in my opinion, all the time, where it opens up the heavens if you consume this adrenal gland hormone, basically. And it is the most, they say, I mean, according to the research I have seen and read, is more power. It's like 10 times more powerful than the strongest drug that you know of. Okay. And they get like high on this shit. And this is why they could be looking young. There's some people that I'm just like, what? You're 80? Holy crap. What are you doing? Is it Botox? No, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I was not there. Don't want to go there. I'm just positing things that are that could be. I don't take nothing off the table. I'm just like, here's all the things. And, one day we might have the answer to this. Not likely, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I just like to posit it. For what it's worth, there's cannibalism and accusations flying in the Hamblin, Gordon Bowen case. And that's not the only one. But anyway, so, okay. All right. I'm sorry. Yeah. Let's see. The enterprise encourages its members to punish individuals to the brink of death if necessary to remediate. Am I saying that right? Someone from distortion and into truth. 10. The horrific nature of the enterprise was meticulously described by Franke at her criminal aggravated child abuse sentencing hearing, where it says Franke, who initially sought out Hildebrandt merely for counseling services, I think it was to train their kids. Hence Chad. I think Chad, I mean, if this did happen, I pray to God that it goes into that whole memory thing, how you don't remember these things because it's so traumatic. And so that's another thing that these perpetrators depend on, is the fact that you're not going to remember it till well beyond statute of limitations, right? Prove it. Then they're going to call you crazy. And then they're going to have their mob-like mentality. They come out and they all do the flying monkey thing, and they are successful a lot of times. Then they have other members of the LDS Church of Satan in powerful positions, or not. Either way, I mean, all it takes is just, oops, let me just slap. Oh, I just found this number in the very back of my filing cabinet. Yeah, you didn't. In my opinion, that's crazy. And so I'm supposed to believe that? And I mean, again, as a member of the victims, a member of the family of the victims, I do not want the wrong people prosecuted for my family's murders. I don't care if it's the Pope. Okay? If it's not Chad and Lori, then it's not. Okay? It's something I got to get the hell over. That's not justice, what I want, or what I believe. I want the evidence to present itself, and I want the prosecution to convict on the merit of the investigation, the proper investigation done by investigators, law enforcement. If they did a good investigation, then and everybody's working on merit and integrity, okay, then we should be good, Like, we should be good in the sense that you don't have to pull any punches. You ain't gotta call Keith Morrison and Dateline. Okay? You don't have to have 700 messages or so between prosecutor and cult member. Okay? You don't have to do shady shit. If you're doing things right, you don't have to worry about that. So it's whenever there's secrecy, sealed hearings, whenever, your aunt who is crazy, but not that kind of crazy. And then they dub her as, oh, yep, no, she's incompetent. And I'm just like, bullshit. Learn about how they use these hospitals and prisons and mental health facilities and stuff. I think Lori was just starting to maybe crack a little, maybe be like, oh, well, I don't know. I have an imagination like a crazy person. Well, very imaginative. And I'm just like, I just don't feel like, I feel like maybe they put her there, because then how does the church how does a mental health technician give Lori Vallow homework assignment? Okay. That is weird and wrong. I'm just going to say it's wrong, in my opinion. Okay. I'm going to say it's wrong to give Lori a freaking homework assignment to call another attorney. Why? And then Curtin McConkie answers the phone. I mean, Daniel McConkie of Curtin McConkie. What are the odds? That girl needs to go get some lottery tickets, but she can't. Hey, Katie, how are you? Yeah. In my opinion, using Satan as a causal feature is a mistake. It focuses the behaviors on an external force. The force is the true believers, and the external, that is the danger. Nothing is more dangerous. I get that. I do get that. Satan didn't make you do it. Right. However, there are these people who are doing some really dark shit. I don't know how to. I mean, I've read everything I possibly can from other people who have produced research into every one of these things, and I mean, I take it all in, and I'm just like, it's like we have one side or the other. You have people who, not like that, because it's always going to be in the middle, there's not just one side or the other, there's this gray area that, I mean, we just have to, anyways, I'm not a professional, but that's how I try to look at things. I try to balance myself. I know I'm very biased. I get that. I, it's my family, but I mean, in the grand scope of things, I'm just like, they can blame it on Satan. I know that David Hamblin has confessed, allegedly, to his daughter, saying that, I'm not saying I didn't rape you, but somebody in my body didn't do it. Bullshit. Okay. Satan didn't admit, you just admitted. Okay. So I don't play that either. Like, no scapegoat. Satan is not a scapegoat. You don't, you're accountable for your own actions. Lori is accountable for her own actions. Chad, all of them. And then the way this works is like, there is always the fall guy. There's Diddy. I think he's the fall guy right now until, they got to throw whatever. I don't know. It's just my little 2 cents. I think that for sure Alex was the scapegoat. I think he was given his blessing literally, and, he knew his job. And I've been compiling some beliefs from the Hamblin daughters, sisters, whatever. And they explain the beliefs of the LDS Church of Satan. alleged. And I mean, they're spot on, y'all. They're spot on. There's nothing else that I've seen, and I look, and I'll never stop looking, right? Coffee, right? I need some too. um, it's real to them. Or, I mean, they're worshiping, they're sacrificing, they are torturing to satisfy their so-called demons, right? Their anyways, I don't know. I'm not here to say that though. Like I can't sit there and I just know that I feel that people are accountable for their own crap. You put it out there, you gotta, I'm sorry, boo. Like you gotta do it. You gotta be accountable for good or bad. Whatever you throw out there, it's on you. Nobody else. I mean, I go through this with my son, or my sons. I'm like, nobody made you do anything, and it's definitely the devil never makes you do anything. Though when I don't play that at all. You have to be accountable. Yes. There are. It's not just oh, okay. No. And I mean, a lot of people just stop there. And maybe because they're either unaware or they're uncomfortable with it and they're just like, or maybe it just hasn't shook their world, and I don't want it to either. That's definitely not what I want. That's why I'm here. Not only to piece this thing together, right? But to raise awareness along the way. Beautiful friends in here that I love. And I mean, I look to you guys. Y'all are my people. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are my people. And y'all are the best damn people to have to go through something like this. It's horrible. Not you. This situation is horrible. But I mean, that's what we have to do as humans, okay? And we have to be our brother's keeper, so to speak, and human. And so I'll be there if, I'm just saying that's what we got to do. We have to, and we have to look out for these kids, right, Ravina? Right? We have to look out for these kids. There are parents, and these kids think this is normal. R was saying that it was his fault. JJ is alleged to have said that he loves Satan. Do y'all remember that? And I'm just like, I just said I love Satan too. I just said that's how some people kind of justify that. They're like, well, I would too. I would say that I love Satan too. If I'm dealing with Mommy Dearest here and her friends, weird friends, I mean, they're scary. That's got to be freaking scary for a kid. It's just a weird situation. The way that the Griffiths, like Ruby's sisters and brother, how deny everything's fine, everything's good here, it's not us. I'm sorry for your experience, Sherry, but I'm validating you, honey, but that's my kids want to do this. We're good. I mean, so it continues. This continues, and it's disgusting. And people give people like her a platform because they want to hear what the hell she has to say. And there's people that are clout chasers too. Okay, that is the weirdest thing I've ever witnessed in a murder case of triple or however many in my family. I'm just like, what? We're just regular people, But people have even stepped all over, like they don't even acknowledge me. And they're just like, Kay and Larry, I'm so sorry. And I'm just like, we got a whole family back here, Like, what are we? What? Because they're on TV or because you're at the audio or because, and everybody's like wanting to have a hero. They want to be saved. And that's why there's this Messiah complex kind of hero dynamic. And then there's everybody else who just thinks these people are going to come save them. And that's not how it's going to go. Okay. Sorry. Rude awakening. You have to save yourself. Okay. Nobody's going to do anything for you. It's called being accountable, accepting responsibility, and for yourself, right? If you take care of yourself, it lightens the burden for a lot of people, Yeah, she's on her 5th husband. She's not normal people, but she gets a spotlight 1 or 2 more times for trial in Arizona. Ugh. Right. I spilled it. And Jason sent me the motion for some about cameras. And I was like, oh God. I'm so ready for her to just disappear. I really am. I really am. I've thought about writing her so many times. I've actually written before and I just never send it, I've only done it once. It was like 8 pages and I was still going. I would love to be able to say a victim statement and it's not. I don't want to be classified as a victim. I just want I want the damn microphone. Okay. I want the microphone. If I could be, have as much leniency as the Wagners, in the Wagner case. I don't really know the people, but actually, I mean, I'm like, I wonder if I'm related. Gilly is Mickey Gilly. I'm related to Mickey Gilly, Jerry Lee Lewis, Jimmy Swaggart, I think, or something. I don't know, long distance. But anyways, so I always wondered that, and I'm like, Anyways, that's neither here nor there. But I would love, if I just didn't have to hold my tongue. That would be so freeing. Just to be like, and this is what I found, okay? And just boom, knock it all. Just truth bomb. Everybody deal with it. That would be so refreshing. Anyways, all right. Sorry, but I just switched back to here. Sorry for saying sorry. Right. All right. The horrific nature of the enterprise was meticulously described by Franke at her criminal aggravated child abuse sentencing hearing. Franke, who initially sought out Hildebrandt merely for counseling services, revealed that Hildebrandt's teachings then led Franke into a quote-unquote dark delusion, a quote-unquote distorted version of reality. Hildebrandt, and she's blaming Jodi, and it's that damn Jodi. It's just like whenever Janice and them are like, it's that damn, and Summer are like, it's that damn China Daybell. No, it's not. It is you. It is your family. It's not great. Everything's not fine. Check it out. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay to admit flaws, for Christ's sake. I don't trust anybody who does not. Okay, I don't. I can't, because I can't relate to you. Okay, because I'm human. I learn from my mistakes, and I like to share that with other people so that they know it's called being, having humility. Okay, you're not exalted, anybody. Okay, you're not God. So stop. And nobody's coming to save you. So save yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Anyways, and to believe that, quote unquote, I'm sorry, right here it says, Hildebrandt taught Franke to, quote, isolate anyone who challenged Franke, unquote, and to believe that, quote, this world is an evil place filled with cops who control, hospitals who injure, government agencies that brainwash, and church leaders who lie and lust. You could hear the disdain in her voice when she said this right here. Husbands who refuse to protect, and children who need abuse. Per Franke, Hildebrandt's grooming of her associates results in quote-unquote paranoia, criminal activity, brainwashing, and offering unconditional contempt to family who try to help. In short, tragedy. Hildebrandt's methodology leads children into extreme danger, knowingly leads children to darkness, believing dark was light and light was wrong. Oh my God. I mean, I'm like, oh my God. Left is right, right is left, up is down, down is up. It's backwards here. It is so, this world is so warped. I've said it so many times. I've felt it so many times. And okay, so it says, believing dark was light and light was wrong, and takes from children all that is soft and safe and good. Number 11, Hildebrandt's methodology has led to the commission of countless crimes and torts by Hildebrandt and Enterprise members, all of which did not come to light until the arrest and subsequent sentencing of Hildebrandt and Franke in August 2023 and February 2024, respectively. Once Franke and Hildebrandt's criminal activity was exposed, thousands of individuals reported that the enterprise destroyed their lives and their families. Go check out the episodes on Mormon Stories podcast. There's plenty. Many even contemplated suicide at the hands of the enterprise. Number 12. Okay. Oh, I see the preview for Heretic. I'm not giving Hollywood a damn dollar, so I have to wait till it's free or, on one of these platforms. 12. Plaintiff is one such individual severely harmed by the enterprise. So finally, we are hearing from the plaintiff. Okay. Number 12. Plaintiff is one such individual severely harmed by the enterprise. Plaintiff and Savage were formally married. During their marriage, Savage sought Hildebrandt for routine counseling. Shortly thereafter, Savage eagerly accepted Hildebrandt as her guide and joined the enterprise. Okay, accepted. Savage eagerly accepted Hildebrandt. Okay, as her guide. Okay, and joined the enterprise. Savage and Hildebrandt immediately identified plaintiff as an individual in distortion. Shocker, right? Pattern. That it tracks with her behavior, her past behaviors, in my opinion. Upon whom they needed to inflict severe psychological abuse to be brought into quote unquote truth. 13. Savage masterfully implemented the enterprise's dark teachings to physically abuse and endanger the minor child, here we go, of Savage and plaintiff and destroy plaintiff's life. Is this Adam? I mean, sounds just like Adam. Savage's current husband, Jay Washburn, now also implements the enterprise's destructive practices to harm plaintiff. Now, just know, I'm not making these allegations. I'm reading from the lawsuit. These are all alleged. Okay. 14. Let me take a sip. 14. Even after Hildebrandt and Franke's arrests and convictions, Savage remains a devoted associate of Hildebrandt and the enterprise. Savage has staunchly refused to stop implementing Hildebrandt's warped teachings to discipline and abuse Savage and plaintiff's daughter. Oh my God. Right? Wow. Sorry, I wasn't looking. Okay. Immediately after the arrest and subsequent convictions of Hildebrandt and Franke, and after the horrific nature of Hildebrandt's methodology came to light, plaintiff pleaded multiple times with Savage to discontinue Savage's implementation of Hildebrandt's methodology with Savage and plaintiff's minor child. Savage refused. Okay, we got another Ruby, Jodi, Lori, all them people. Okay, I'm not wrong. You're just coming at me because you're opposition, and Satan. When you're doing good and you're working in truth and not distortion, or light and not in darkness. That's when Satan really comes at you, okay? Because you're doing the Lord's work, so to speak. Okay, demonstrate. Did I pass them up? Let me take another sip. My mouth is so dry all of a sudden. Potty break. Okay. Immediately after the arrest, did I already say all this? Yes. Savage refused. Savage continues to engage in criminal and tortious behavior against her minor and plaintiff. So against their daughter and plaintiff, demonstrating through her words and actions, okay, whoa, that she willfully does so under the dark delusion, falsehoods, and dangerous and false methodologies promulgated by Hildebrandt. Let's not forget about the Thibodeaus either, okay? And Trace, I want to soon about Jared Brooks again. We need to touch base on that one too. Okay. 15. As part of Savage's implementation of the enterprise, she attempted to destroy plaintiff's life in domestic proceedings by disparaging him. This is par for the course right here, and advocating for positions she knew violated Utah law. Exploit that. They find the loopholes, man, and then they hide there, and then they weaponize it. Look at Lori with Joe Ryan, family court, weaponized. Everything is a weapon. They're pawns. Okay. Plaintiff prevailed on appeal. Good. Reversing the trial court's custody, attorney fees, and child support awards. See Tilleman versus Tilleman. We'll have to look that up. Okay, number 16. This suit addresses the racketeering I just feel like this is where Enterprise could meet up with Timmy, you know? It depends. I don't know if they're involved or not. Looks like it, but won't know till there's evidence. Right now it's just hypotheses, theories. Okay. The suit addresses that the racketeering and personal injuries plaintiff has suffered as a direct result of Savage, Hildebrandt, and other members of the Enterprise's violations of federal racketeering, RICO, and Utah law. 17. The Enterprise continues to function even while Hildebrandt and Franke are incarcerated. That is disgusting. And shame on y'all. Straight up. Give it up. For real. Go find another grift, for F's sake. Okay? Go find another grift that doesn't involve children or defrauding anybody. I know. Seems to be a freaking problem over there in Utah because y'all's attorney general, the ex one, Sean. Anyways, allegedly. All right. 17. The Enterprise continues to function even while they're incarcerated. Plaintiff brings this suit for declaratory and injunctive relief to enjoin the Enterprise from causing harm. Whistleblower, right? Another one. As well as for monetary damages caused by defendants through the Enterprise. Get it. Grab your bag, boo. That's where you got to hit these people, is in the pocket. Sometimes it's not even about the money. It's about it's the point. Okay, it's the principle that they try to freaking exploit people and hurt people on. Anyways, parties. Number 18. Plaintiff Michael Tilleman is an individual domiciled in Utah. 19. Upon information, the belief Hildebrandt is an individual in Utah and currently incarcerated in the Utah State Correctional Facility. Upon information and belief, Franke is domiciled in Utah and currently incarcerated in the Utah State Correctional Facility. They in the same one? Upon information and belief, ConneXions Classroom, LLC is a Utah limited liability company created by Hildebrandt to further the Enterprise's fraudulent scheme. Its last address of record is 1400 Chapel Street, P.O. Box 782, Santa Clara, Utah, 84765. Okay. Upon information and belief, defendant, Michael, I don't know how to say that, Michelle Washburn, also known as M. Savage, is domiciled in Cedar Hills, Utah. 23. Upon information and belief, does 1 through 10 are other individuals that have committed acts or omissions. Boy, I mean, if there was a crime of omission, it's Melanie Damn Gibb and oh my God, in the Daybell case. Okay, I'm just saying that are and Warwick that are the subject of this complaint, including other members of the Enterprise. Plaintiff may seek to amend this complaint to identify does 1 through 9 as soon as their identities are known. So this is just speculation, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Just wondering. Okay. I don't even know what page. Okay. Jurisdiction and venue. It says this court has subject matter jurisdiction. Q and Daryl Brooks. Sorry. That was tragic. But I mean, subject matter jurisdiction, I think of Lori being her own attorney. Subject matter jurisdiction. Excuse me. This court has subject matter jurisdiction over plaintiff's RICO claim under, this U.S. Code 25. This court has supplemental jurisdiction over plaintiff's state law claims under state-law claims under blank because the claims arise out of a common nucleus of operative facts as plaintiff's RICO claim. I don't know what all this means, just reading it together. 26. Venue is proper in this district under this code because all defendants reside in this district and a substantial number of events giving rise to this action occurred in this district. Venue is also proper in this district under this code because all the defendants reside or found, have agents, and transact affairs in this district. I don't feel like I'm talking right. Factual. Okay, so here we go. Factual allegations. I remember because I've been trying to timeline all this stuff, and so this is going to help for sure. It'll really nail some things down that are going to be in filings, right? Federal ones at that. For timelines and stuff. And I remember there's this little interview I have from ConneXions. Actually, I'm sorry, Eternal Core, which is Ken Krogh and Tom Harrison, right? And they had Jodi on, and they asked her whenever they asked when she started ConneXions, and she said, I want to say it was she said June or the summer of 2013 or 2014. Let's see if we're right or close. Okay, so it says defendants offer fraudulent services purporting to help individuals and families which utilize abuse to amass a fortune. Proselytize and monetize sounds like the plan of the whiteboard. If you remember, then you can see the whiteboard of Ken Krogh. It's the precursor to the 2017 and the 2019 that we're aware of, allegedly. Whiteboard meetings that took place with these people. Not Jodi, but I'm telling you, this is the enterprise, okay? In my opinion. Okay. It's number 27. The enterprise created a scheme to defraud individuals of their money and property, which oh my God, that sounds like Julie Rowe. Which extensively utilize interstate wires and likely U.S. mailings. Oh, that's federal. To further that scheme. 28. The enterprise constituted an ongoing organization whose members functioned as a continuing unit for a common purpose of achieving the objectives of the enterprise. 29. The principal purpose of the enterprise was to obtain financial gain and promulgate Hildebrandt's psychological thought paradigm by promoting Hildebrandt and by recruiting new members into ConneXions for the financial benefit of the enterprise. By promoting Hildebrandt and recruiting others into ConneXions, the members of the enterprise expected to receive financial opportunities through ConneXions. Sounds like an MLM too, kind of. Increased power and status within the enterprise. That sounds like the Church of Satan. And control over the victims. Definitely CS belief. Oh, and they go by the group as well. And I'll have you know that, like in Lori and Chad's case, John Pryor kept talking about the gatherers. Well, they also go by the group, which flew over my head until I was like, oh my God, they do go by the group. So-and-so's group is in charge of this. So-and-so's group is in charge of that. So just kind of keep your eye out for those if you can. And, flag my attention if you find anything that's interesting, please. I'd really appreciate it. Okay, so by promoting Hildebrandt and recruiting others into ConneXions, the members of the enterprise expected to receive financial opportunities through ConneXions, increased power and status within the enterprise, and control over their victims and or their families through implementation of Hildebrandt's methodology to ultimately keep victims within the enterprise for its financial gain. Monkey see, monkey do. 30. The enterprise operated within the southern district of Utah and elsewhere, including Idaho and Arizona. We got a problem, y'all. It's a plague. It's a cancer. 31. Among the means and methods by which Hildebrandt, Franke, Savage, and others participated in the conduct of the affairs of the enterprise were the following. Now we're on page 9 of 112. Okay. A. Promoting, enhancing, and protecting the enterprise by committing, attempting, and conspiring to commit crimes, including but not limited to wire fraud, monetary transactions involving racketeering proceeds, forced labor, and potential money laundering. Well, if y'all haven't looked at the whiteboard meeting 2019 version for sure, it appears to mimic for what my idea of what laundering, at least on the whiteboard, it looks like a drawing that would, if I was having to envision what a whiteboard money laundering, what a money laundering, racketeering kind of RICO thing looked like, it would look like a drawing that was alleged to have been drawn by Tim Ballard and or his alleged enterprise, on a whiteboard. And so I would have drew it just like that. Anyways. All right. So B, demanding absolute commitment to Hildebrandt, including by promulgating Hildebrandt's methodology of abuse and control in promoting and accepting Hildebrandt's status as an unquestionable authority within ConneXions and the enterprise. C. Promoting and implementing Hildebrandt's methodology of perpetuating aggravated child abuse and child torture on minor victims of the enterprise. D. Encouraging members and others to purchase expensive services and products from ConneXions as a means of exerting control over them and to obtain financial benefits for the members of the enterprise. That money is not going to bring them happiness, and they're looking for love in themselves so bad, and they think it's so conditional, y'all. It's disgusting, and it's skin deep, right? That's about as far as we look, it seems. As far as they look, it seems. I meant we is like we. Okay, encouraging members. Did I already say that? Okay. No, 32. Defendants entice, there's that word again, victims to join the enterprise by falsely representing that Hildebrandt's teachings via ConneXions will bring peace in users' lives, in their relationships, and otherwise improve themselves as individuals. Really? I mean, just stop being self-absorbed. Okay. That acknowledge. Okay. Just accept. I don't know. I'm not Tony Robbins. It's a joke. All right. Did I say this one? Yeah. 33. Their lucky number, their favorite. Well, one of them. 23 is another one. All right. 33. Not only does ConneXions purport to provide counseling and other self-help services, but it also advertises that Hildebrandt can solve any undesirable behavior. In fact, the enterprise represents that ConneXions is the only way to resolve said behaviors. For years, Hildebrandt represented the following on the now defunct ConneXions website. If they're proud of it, why don't they have new websites? Or do they? Maybe I shouldn't even say that. Okay. Hildebrandt represented okay, I already said that. Okay, my style is what is necessary to fully change and champion any addictive or self-destructive behavior, whether it be ravenous addictions, feelings of worthlessness or inadequacy, conflicts in relationships, intimacy problems, communication breakdowns, and frankly, any block that prevents having and creating peace and joy. Emphasis added. Okay. 34. However, rather than provide legitimate counseling and self-help services, ConneXions uses pretextual front companies. This sounds like our people. What do you think OUR is, in my opinion, allegedly? What do you think the Spear Fund is? What do you think the TNF or CNF, Children Need Families, the Nazarene Fund, Lava? I mean, we can go on and on. These people have more nonprofit organizations, allegedly, so-called nonprofit organizations. Yet, I mean, Tim was ruling, okay, because he was like, I can't go and save the kids anymore because you basically, you Jezebels, you just want clout. Why do they all say that? Okay. He is nothing special. I know Elder Ballard is alleged to have told him that, he was going to be a household name. But I mean, did you ever think that maybe that would be, maybe in my phone, my phone photo storage, because that's the only way you're a wide known people. It's like, I don't know. It's like I don't know. With Tim, it's so crazy and it's aggravating too, because, and I see this in some of the alleged victims of Tim's, they get so frustrated. And I mean, I feel for them. This can't be easy. Okay. I've never had to do anything on this kind of level, like, accusing somebody of violating me in any way, shape, or form, spiritually, sexually, physically, psychologically, all the things, right? Bodily, all of the things, because they've exploited them to the nth degree. And then to find out that they were just kind of caught up in this movement by, people like Hildebrandt here, people like Tim, and all the yes men that are around that give these people credibility. Okay. That's got to stop. And we also have to, learn and have better discernment skills, like don't just buy into anything and everything. Okay. Check it out. Observe. I'm very slow and moving. Like I study things and I just who's who, why are they, you know what I mean? I just kind of observe. They say to keep your enemies, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. I mean, I don't know that I didn't set out like saying, hey, this is my enemies, right? No. But I'm just like trying to figure it out in the beginning. And then now I'm still like, wow, I still don't look at these people as my enemies. They definitely aren't aligned with a lot of humans, our world society. They don't even have like a moral compass, If you don't believe in Satan and hell and demons and God and angels and all that, then I mean, can we just agree just to not be a shitty person and just have a good moral compass and not try to dupe people, okay? And try and like manipulate, I mean, it's so just try. It's all we can do is try. Anyways. All right. So it says 34. However, rather than provide legitimate counseling, and I think I read this one already, but we'll go ahead. Hildebrandt. I'll just start at 34 at the beginning. However, rather than provide legitimate counseling and self-help services, ConneXions uses pretextual front companies, good, which actively mislead potential clients to believe and understand that ConneXions and Hildebrandt provide actual services. Hildebrandt also emphasized her background as a licensed therapist in advertising connections in order to build trust with potential. She shouldn't have any potential customers, because she don't even have her damn license. And it's all freaking nasty. It's so fraudulent and so deceptive. These people fake it till they make it, pretty much. And then they have the cushiest freaking resumes. You ever go checked out some BYU resumes? Holy crap. I'm like, oh, really? You danced for the king? What? And while you were, I mean, it's crazy. I was like, is this like I'm not trying to be ugly, but is this a Mormon community thing? I'm sure there's a lot of people that do that, but still, it's like, I don't even believe you now. Like, I don't believe that you did all these things. Okay. And if so, I mean, didn't they shorten up resumes, to like be one page? I don't know. Anyways, I haven't had to use a resume in a hot minute. All right. Hildebrandt also emphasized her background as a licensed therapist in advertising connections in order to build trust with potential connections, customers, and members. Didn't the church recommend clients to people like Jodi Hildebrant? Yeah, that's how Adam Steed met her. Yeah. Okay. And the same thing happened with David Hamblin, who is accused of the most heinous things up to there are up to, I'm not saying David, I'm just saying this, like there's like 17 murders. Okay. Allegedly. And I mean, whatever. Yeah. Come on. Now there's 17 people allegedly whose family members maybe miss them. I can promise you that they do. I mean, and these people were okay with it. Chad Daybell was okay with, Tammy just died in her sleep. Yeah. She had a little smile on her face, and she's been here with my kids. It's okay. She told me to move on. Damn it! I don't want to have. Why are they digging her up? I mean, can you imagine the balls on these people? The gall, the balls, the gall, whatever, interchangeable. But it's disgusting. Then they act like they're the victims. It's the weirdest, craziest, and most enraging thing ever. It really is. Hildebrandt also emphasized, okay, so yeah, her background as a licensed therapist in advertising connections in order to, that is just nasty. All right, 35. Hildebrandt categorized her personal services through ConneXions as, quote, life coaching. Life coaching. If you want a life coach, go to Megan Connor. Okay. She's healing. She's relaxing. She just her sometimes, she'll like talk about things and she just goes off into these like stories. And I'm just like, oh my God. And it's so relaxing and just comforting. So, and plus she's a member of the family, you know? Love her. So I don't know. I feel like I'm promoting small business or something, you know, like my grandma my grandma owned a small a mom and pop convenience store for like 50 years, and then she owned rental properties, and so I was around that my whole life. And it was always like, support your local businesses. And so I'm sorry if it comes out like that, but yeah, anyways. Do what you do, but we'd appreciate if you would, you know, support or just to have you here, you know, in and around the families of all these kind of crimes, you know. Violent crime is terrible, and I don't want anybody else to ever have to. It's very bad. Yeah, it's a weird thing and painful thing. I don't want nobody else to have to go through this. Okay. Okay. Hildebrandt categorized her personal services through ConneXions as life coaching to evade the legal, ethical, and professional responsibilities imposed on therapists. That tracks. This intentionally misleading advertising is another method by which the enterprise induced people to pay for the fraudulent services offered through ConneXions. Damn mouth. Okay. The enterprise's fraudulent scheme, or did I just? Yeah, I suck with holding my place. Okay, yeah, it's just trust me, this is a pattern. Okay. All right. The enterprise's fraudulent scheme also involved a ranking. That's interesting. That's a very interesting word because they're legions of demons or whatever the hell they call them. Oh my God, this is crazy. All right. The enterprise's fraudulent scheme also involved a ranking, which that could be the freaking new Chad Daybell, light dark, 6.2. Oh my God. I wonder if he has a light scale, dark scale. The enterprise's fraudulent scheme also involved a ranking and advancement system within a multi-level marketing structure, whereby individuals work through the sales structure of the enterprise to achieve the rank of quote-unquote mental fitness trainer, unquote. 38. The enterprise's primary purpose now fully, God dang it, proposes. The enterprise's primary proposes, now fully revealed in Hildebrandt and Franke's criminal child abuse proceedings, are to control individuals, punish those who refuse the enterprise, promote and perpetuate child abuse and child torture, inflict pain and abuse on distorted individuals, and destroy individuals and families, all to fraudulently derive millions of dollars globally while doing so. Sounds so familiar, right? I think it does. Do y'all think it sounds familiar? Okay, Hildebrandt and the enterprise's methodology established Hildebrandt as the source of quote-unquote truth. Sounds like Charles Manson. The methodology rests on one central imperative that to bring those around them into truth and out of distortion, members of the enterprise must act by any means necessary, including through unlawful and criminal activities such as physical abuse, torture, psychological abuse, and brainwashing. Even when these actions culminate in murder, hold on. By any means necessary, including through unlawful and criminal activities such as physical, torture, or psychological. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to process this. This is crazy. Culminate, okay, in murder, as demonstrated by Franke's implementation of the enterprise's teachings through the torture and near murder of her children. I mean, can we say that for everybody? Everywhere. Okay. 41. While these tactics were uncovered to the public in August 2023 in the Hildebrandt and Franke aggravated child abuse proceedings, The enterprise has aggressively sought implementation of Hildebrandt's methodology through these tactics for nearly 2 decades. Oh my gosh. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Let's continue. 42. Savage has been enthusiastically employing Hildebrandt's methods against plaintiff and his daughter for nearly a decade. I'm so sorry. That is so terrible. 43. The core. Oh, gosh. Eternal core. I'm just saying. I'm just noting that. The core path to indoctrination into the enterprise by Hildebrandt was illuminated. Another interesting word. During Franke's December 18, 2023 plea hearing by explanation of her attorneys, quote, initially, Miss Franke believed that Jodi Hildebrant had the insight to offer a path to continually improvement. That don't make sense. Miss Hildebrandt took advantage of this quest. No, she didn't. Can't. It's like they say, you can't blank the willing, you know? I'm just saying. Miss Hildebrandt, that damn Chad Daybell and that damn Hildebrandt. Miss Hildebrandt took advantage of this quest and twisted it into something heinous. You know what, though, Ruby? It's not Miss Hildebrandt's kids. It's yours. I put it way more on you, sister. So good luck. See you next probation. Just throwing that out there. I think that people like Lori and people, and I mean, Megan can explain more about manipulators and all that. She's really good at this kind of stuff. But I mean, people like Ruby and like Lori, to me, and like Melanie Gibb, those sneaky ones, you know, who it's like to your face, they're like, oh, I love babies, you know, and then as soon as you turn your back, not even all the way, they're pinching the baby's leg to make them cry so that they have to be needed or wanted or to give the illusion of that or something. That's the impression I get, you know. It's very competitive. It's not genuine. Okay. Basically, essentially, it just boils down to people who were abused as children, allegedly, in my opinion, in my theory. And they were taught to do this. And, you know, there's the protector brother. And I mean, there are stories of Carl. I forget his last name all the time. He's from Rexburg. He did a couple interviews. You can find him. I know I saw him on Occult Rejects. Oh my gosh, Carl. Y'all know his name? I'm looking rough. Not Carl Danger. That's in, you know, it's Carl. Anyways, he has alleged that there were touching parties, basically. Alleged, you know what I'm saying. But like there was peanut butter involved, and it was like alleged the alleged Griffith sisters, perhaps, maybe in some theory somewhere. And you know, okay, this has been going on. It's so easy to pinpoint, y'all. I don't know what else to do besides yeah, you're a bus flipper. My boy. Oh yeah. Some people are pot stirrers, right? We can be both. I'm a bus flipper, says Robbie, and we endorse that. Okay, I do. Carl. Him and his wife went through a divorce. He was a YouTuber. He is a YouTuber. Anyways, but I mean, there's stories like that I can't corroborate because again, I was not there. But it tracks, in my opinion. It goes back to Brenda and Dick Miles, allegedly, all the way up to President Nelson. I mean, President Nelson and M. Russell Ballard are skull and bones. Y'all, come on now. You know what they have to do to be initiated? Okay. It's not pretty. They have to do some stuff that prophets don't do. Okay. They're non-profits. Legit. I just made it funny. I hope it made you laugh. Non-profits. Right. Oh, in my opinion. Come on, laugh. I need to laugh. I need to just. I know. I remember you telling me. Oh, wow. I didn't know she was. Okay, hold on. It wouldn't click. Okay. Difficult research. My mom is a religious studies major from University of Utah. There. did her master's somewhere, I don't know, and she's super hands off with this stuff. I think it's because it makes her uncomfortable to know. It is uncomfortable. Yeah. It is. And I'm just so sorry for your experience all the way around, Robbie, but I know you're not alone. I've heard many stories of non-Mormons growing up in a Mormon setting. Can you imagine, like, if there's people parenting like Ruby, Jodi, no, not if, when there are people parenting like all these criminals, okay? Okay, it's a muck, okay? Everything's just chaos and crazy, okay? So, I'm just so sorry for that. No kid should ever, and that's bullying too, you know? And then bullies usually, I've taught this to Silas, my little one. I'm like, if there's a bully, even if you see somebody bullying another kid, I'm like, just think about it, I'm like, think about, I wonder if they're happy at home. I wonder if their parents are nice. I wonder if they have both parents. Just try to understand why they're doing what they're doing, and just be nice to that person. That person needs love, okay? And sometimes you gotta show people, and sometimes that works. I don't know. Um, just don't become a bully because you got bullied, that's stupid. But it's like, it's so contagious. It's weird. It's the craziest stuff, right? Yeah, would those be 501c3 nonprofits? All the way, and the nonprofits. That's for Hot Pockets. That used to be Chad's name, Hot Pockets. Right? Yeah. I'm glad y'all are here. Thank you. Oh, and Santa Clara is using his personal Hotmail account to order large style. Uh-oh. I don't know if I want to read the rest of that, Robbie. Wow. Say allegedly. No. I got shit to do. People I know. People hide behind Jesus, religion, the devil, Satan. Chad made me do it. Jodi made me do it. I mean, Chad's a bus flipper himself. Not really. He's subtle. He's sneaky too. These are the dangerous people, y'all. These are the people that you're like, These are people that are okay with burying their wives in a cemetery in Utah while they go ahead and move on and have, go to a family vacation with their kids while her kids are dead and buried in the backyard, and Tammy's buried in Utah, and they're going to freaking Knott's Berry Farm. I mean, living La Vida Loco Cholo, right? I mean, it is just like, whoa. I mean, I feel guilty if, I mean, uh, I feel guilty about a lot of things if I eat something I shouldn't. But you know what I'm saying? Like little things, like it bothers me if I were to get one over on somebody, even, like accident or unknowingly, opposite of what these people do. Okay. It's just, and I mean, like Melanie Gibb with her doe-eyed, oh, I'm gullible. Yeah, you're not. No, yeah, no, yeah, no, you're not. Girl, she is like the teacher, they're covens, okay? And they just like 13. There's like 7 to 13 people, I think. I'm still kind of getting into this. It's a little weird, different. And I need to smoke. So there's that cute puppy too. Walmart is pretty big. I miss when Walmart, not that I don't really miss any of these assholes. Shop local, okay? Support your local businesses. They're being put out of business. And the more we enable that, then we're just sealing our own fate, unfortunately. And maybe Russell Ballard's prophecy will come true for once. Just saying. Was that a bad joke? Yes. Because, I don't want to be a slave. Okay. I don't want you to be a slave. Nobody needs to be owning anybody else, okay? My mom did that for 18 years, right? We give our parents tell us what to do for 18 years, pretty much. And then you're supposed to be an adult and be accountable and responsible and be, a law-abiding, moral, not moral. A good, I don't know. I'm losing my words. Morally good person. And all I say is just don't be an asshole. It's just so don't be an asshole. Yeah. Very easy. And then we all are a-holes, okay? So by used, by local, boy, ours talk. Yeah, that's me. I like the used places. Superior. Well, no, not in a good term, like morally not bankrupt. Opposite of morally bankrupt. Oh my gosh. I hate this. MG's Nate interview is about the creepiest watch ever. She's just pure slime. I agree. Y'all, that threw me off, because I don't there's like you have the feelings, and then you're just like, but what is she saying? I don't even know what she's saying. It's like it's so long too. And it's in a language I don't speak. Okay. I do know when I need to. I understand it. Inclined, morally inclined. Yeah, that's better. That's along the way. Oh, let's see. My son's father has not even called to see if he made through surgery. No natural affection. Oh, I understand that. That sucks. We'll tell him we're pulling for him. Is he okay? I'm not going to call you though. Bing, bing. I'm going to hit you on the hip. Anyways. All right. Let me 100% growing up in a Mormon neighborhood, they will make an attempt to ask Mary too. She can witness. She can be a witness to this. She can testify to this. They will make an attempt to fellowship you with you and be friendly, etc. But when they realize you're not buying it, right? Then you don't exist. I've witnessed that myself in this true crime community with, different. I mean, of course, this involves Mormonism and ex-Mormon, all the things. And whew, Lord, it's a different world, y'all. And I'm just like, hey, I'm friendly. I'm here friendly. I'm whatever. I can't talk. Did it? How many of you guys I mean, and be honest, come on, because it's the best way. But like, how many of you believed Melanie initially, Melanie Gibb, in her interview with Nate Eaton? I know I did. And I wanted to, because it was the only thing I had to grab onto, information wise. We couldn't get them. We couldn't, you know what I mean? Like it was just so. And I also thought she was a coward for coming out then. Like it's so freaking. That's like a luxury position to be put into, right? Just to decide when you're going to participate in a freaking and multiple jurisdictions, law enforcement investigation, including the FBI. And you're just like, oh, I just didn't know what I was going to say. Oh, do what? Yeah, I didn't know what to say. Tell them the truth. Okay. And I mean, I went the whole long way. I mean, I've learned through different Mormon channels, Mormon creators, ex-Mormon. I didn't know at first. I was like, they talk about Joseph Smith. I don't even know who that is. And I mean, turns out that's who M. Russell Ballard is, actually a direct ancestor of Joseph Smith by way of Joseph Smith's brother, Hiram Smith. That's M. Russell Ballard's lineage. And of course, I've heard claims that they believe allegedly that they are in the Ballard verse there with M. Russell Ballard. They believe that they're related allegedly to Jesus. But I think their Jesus is Cain. Okay. I'm telling you, it's so backwards. And I'm like, I feel bad for even saying it sometimes because it sounds so harsh, and I'm just like, I mean, what do you do? I'm not gonna lie. A pygmy girl, yeah. And just nosy, like no boundaries. I see Melanie Gibb, no boundaries, none. She's just like, hey, and I mean, Lori was literally on the phone, y'all, I want to say it was July 11th, 2019. There's text messages where Melanie's like, okay, are you at your house yet? And she's like, Lori's like, no, and or something, or I'm busy. And then Melanie calls or texts back and she's like, okay, I'm in your driveway. And she just like leaves her hanging forever while she's on the while Lori's on the phone in the backyard with Chad. And then Melanie's like, okay, can I come in, please? It's very like, what is going on here? Right? Just a bugaboo. Clingy, talk about, and they project. Projection is 1000 freaking percent in every one of these people. And I mean, I've heard people say who follow all these cases, in and around the true crime area, genre, or whatever you call it. And like Sarah, they what Wordwise said, that Sarah Boone even kind of presents this, I'm a victim, I'm a victim. It's crazy to see. It really is. And I'm like, okay, they can't all be that. Like, come on. Is it just me wanting to be like, well, that looks familiar, that behavior right there? Or is it really happening? Like how much of it is me just being like, that's familiar, boom. That's what this is. It's similar to what's going on over here and all these other cases. So, and then I'm sure it's somewhere in the middle. So, that's terrible. It's terrible. Feel like the narcissist and the empath, that's good and bad, light and dark, so to speak. And it's energy. It's like it sucks the energy out of you to be around some people. They will drain you and leave you for dead. Okay. I'm sensitive to that kind of stuff. I'm not special. I'm not. But I'm just like, oh my God, I'm drained. I need 3 days, just to recoup. And so be, just be aware of your energy and don't let people steal that, because they will. Okay. They will. Whether you believe in it or not, just people, when you're around them, I don't know, you just kind of feel drained, or some people make me really, really, really anxious. And I mean, I'm just jumping out my skin, it's weird. Yeah. Yeah. Once you decided to call, I mean, it's just when I believe she was there, I believe that many people were at the gathering, the casting lot, wherever the hell they do their little bippity boppity shit. It's everywhere, I do believe. I want to read y'all the freaking Hamblin stuff so bad, but I'm like, if you can read that, then you can read the rest of this damn thing. All right, 3 hours and 12 minutes, y'all. Feel bad. I'm gonna hand y'all what I'm gonna do. Yeah, because it's getting long. It's long. What I'm gonna do, because I am tired. I don't know why, but talking about this, I'm not drained, but it's just like, Maybe they exhaust me. I think that's what they do. Maybe they drain my energy, and I'm projecting onto you what I should be taking my own advice, right? Yeah. I mean, I totally see, this is how I see Emma. And I mean, I know you've been here. I don't know if you went and looked into it yourself or if you just heard me talk about it. But in the Hamblin case, oh shit, Donna. I need to turn that damn boop boop off. We have a backstage, right? And so when somebody enters it, it goes boop. That's why I jump. It's not on purpose. I need to turn it off, the little thing. Sorry. But in the Hamblin case, there's the 3 Hamblin daughters, okay? Catherine, Eliza, and Rachel. And I can see a lot of similarities in because there are 3 girls, no boys, but I can see a lot of similarities in how Emma has acted, how Tammy has been treated, how all the things. And I'm just like, this is it, y'all. This is it. It's nothing new. It's been going on for millennia. And I mean, this is Tylee and JJ for sure in the kid department. Okay. They were the 2019 Mormon version of that. There are bazillions more that we know about and or not. There are people who Tim Ballard allegedly claimed to rescue, and that Tom Harrison was healing the brain. Okay. and that Jodi Hildebrant and Ruby Franke were healing all these people too, because they just need healing, right? We're going to put cayenne pepper and honey and it'll just be healed right up. And then that's why you have R, telling the neighbor next door, saying, asking him for a couple favors, can you call the cops? Because he was going to turn himself in. Okay. It's so backwards, and these kids have got to be so lost. And also another huge thing in all this is attachment. They detach from their children, or their, if they're, I don't know. I'm still new at this as far as understanding it fully, besides having to participate myself, and I'm just not going to do that. But like mothers who are in this training system, who are legitimately paying people like Hamblin, people like Jodi, people like these people. Okay, I can't really account for anybody else right now, but if this is happening, if this is really what's going on, how backwards do two parents, from two different, let's say Ruby and Kevin, where do they say, oh yeah, we need to do that, honey? What? Because it seems like Ruby, as far as like in Sherry's book, right? From Sherry's account, it seems like Sherry is Lori's Tylee. Ruby and Sherry is Lori and Tylee. And it's like there's just too much verbiage, too much written out there. Melanie Gibb writes that little blurb in her book about how it sounds like, to me, it appears to me to be like Lori met with Joe, and then she liked to give medicine, crush Xanax up and put it in people's drinks unknowingly. Larry, my stepdad, he did. He loved Lori's fruit salad. She couldn't cook anything, right? She's not a cooker, according to Melanie Gibb. And whenever Mom and Larry had went up there in 2018 in Hawaii or something, that Lori made a fruit cocktail and Larry ate it, and he was deathly freaking ill. And he said that he suspected something, what do you call it, sinister, or just not right. Like, and I'm like, well, what, I try to think about like, what would Lori gain from that though? But then again, why is Lori sitting there telling everybody? I think the detective who first interviewed her after my uncle was murdered, how she was like, she's telling, allegedly her version of her marriage with Charles. Okay. And she's like, what good would that do? Destroying families and causing divorces, basically along those lines. Why? So I just have to babysit everybody. And I'm like, who in the hell do you babysit? You leave your son and your daughter to their own devices. Okay. You either leave them with Colby, Kelsey, Tylee, Charles. Charles isn't gone 24/7. So you act like and you're in the damn temple all the time, whoring around. Just saying. Don't have to say allegedly anymore, and that's beautiful. So what is it that you do? If not, you have your really weird friends, or you're proselytizing, speaking at a home pulpit or whatever. Who is you, girl? Sit down. You are not a mother. Okay. Again, I never looked any deeper than that. I didn't have to. I felt, I was way over here. Oh, okay. That's a good one. I actually have a satellite theme on this. I haven't enabled it yet, or allegedly. They may be doing that for me. But it derp to derp. So smart. Leave your GPS locations. I did whenever Alex and all this stuff started, Lori, and we didn't know. It's before it hit the public, And I remember turning every freaking location service I had on. I'm like, yep, Google on, everything on. Okay. Because they're going to know where I went down. is gonna derp to derp. Go ahead and play in everybody's face. Okay. Well, I don't know about that. Is this for somebody else, Robbie? Yeah, kids are smart. They really are. I don't think she could have gotten anything by Tyler. I don't think she did. I don't think she did, but I think that, you know, if Lori had, which I don't think she did, I don't think Lori knows how to love because she don't love herself. She's trying to fill her bosom, her voided bosom with what she, in my opinion, gets satisfaction of that she equates to love, you know. But it's short-lived. She's never satisfied. That's why she goes man to man to man to man, and now women, because she's with females. Okay, what's she gonna do? You know, and karma will make you eat shit sometimes. That's one of them shit pies, you know, from The Help, where she's so busy labeling. Lori was so busy labeling Brandon as dark, one of the Gadiant robbers, and one of Hitler's freaking people. That's how dark he was, allegedly. Telling Melanie Budura-Pawlowski that he was gay. I mean, and then there's supposedly some big fallout fight or whatever that Lori and Alex are said to have had, according to a neighbor that lived by Alex in Santan Valley. Somewhere in the February or March or April, whatever, of 2019. Okay, when all this stuff was happening, and it's supposedly he said something like, Lori was screaming. It was so loud that, you know, everybody's like, what? Kind of like in the trailer park, you know. And so, but allegedly Lori said something like Alex brought on a disgrace or something. He was disgracing the family. A lot of us have wondered if he was gay. I mean, he did look up trannies straight up after Tammy's murder, or after he shot at her. He looked up trannies. There's, you know, a couple subjects or whatever in some filings against Tim Ballard and friends, you know, who OnlyFans page. It's just back page transformed into her Craigslist back page. You know what I mean? They just I didn't know what it was for the longest time. Then I was like, oh, okay, that's just basically the same thing. You know, it's interesting. Who? I don't think she's crazy. I think she's a high witch in the Mormon coven, and she thinks this is all beneath her. She's Beyonce of the Mormon world in her own mind, right? So who? Jodi? I think and I haven't done this. I'm just being honest with you. I want to. I just, I follow Goel's work in investigations in ritual abuse, and he was tasked to basically put the Hamlin case together. And then all you have to do is drop it off on the prosecutor's desk. And I mean, it's pretty much like investigated, and put together. And then all they got to do is pick it up and then prosecute, right? But, so that's what he's been doing. And I mean, he's getting a hard time. These people are doing what they do, and that's engage in lawfare, allegedly. And they don't play fair. So I forgot what I was going to say, though. They will. And they've contacted family members of even his ex-wife. I mean, just some really trashy. No, I mean, I don't put it past them at all. I don't, but just please be aware of your surroundings. And hey, don't ever, if you're divorced, let's just talk about this. Okay. If you're divorced, and I mean, I'm not going to say if you have a good relationship with your ex, hopefully you do. That's the way to be, right? You went in this as friends, at least, and enough to marry them and or have children with them. So try to do that for the kids. Don't stay together for the kids, but try to co-parent together. Here I go with my words. effectively, like, try not to freak your kids out, okay? Divorces are traumatizing. Uh, okay? I was traumatized by that. I didn't realize that till just a couple years ago. I was like, "Holy crap. Oh my god." You know? Our kids didn't ask to be brought into this world. They did not. And they just want a safe place where they're acknowledged, where they're loved, and unconditionally, not conditionally. There's no conditions, okay? And they're not a weapon. They're not your kids are not a weapon. They're not a pawn. They're not a game piece. They're not to give you a leg up or leg down. They're not to give you food stamps. That's not what they're for. Okay? You have to take care of your kids. You bring them in the world. You take care of them. Nobody else. If you need that, I understand. I've been on assistance. Okay. It helps, but you can't just be like, okay, well, and just settle. There's a lot of people that do this, or they have like 10 kids and then they drain the system, and it's just like, that's not what this is about. Okay. This isn't for you to have all the good designer brand groceries. Okay. And then you never cook a meal because it's all processed foods and stuff that your kids go fix themselves because you're not spending quality time with them, because you're just like, here's your device. There's your ready-made food. Now go, anyway, so stop with that. But if you do have to meet an ex or somebody you're separated from and you have children, you got to do a kid exchange, because let's talk about this. Kid exchanges are monumental in this. Lori and Lori. Okay. We've got Lori whenever she went to her do a kid exchange with Tylee and Joe. Alex shows up, uh, hits Joe Ryan with a stun gun. Okay. Attacks him. Okay. Kid exchange. Second, for sure, Charles was going to do a kid exchange by picking JJ up that morning and bring him to school. Those were the plans. And then he was going to go look at places later, with his friend, landlord. Okay. Joe Pongratz. And that didn't happen. I believe, I think, and we're going to see soon that there were alternate plans to provoke chaos, because that's what they do. They're chaotic. They're domestic terrorists, in my opinion, straight up. There is no, like, once you are labeled dark, so to speak, in for sure Lori's world, okay, that's your ass. Okay. I mean, she will stop at nothing. And I'm not putting him here and, Uncle Charles here and her there. I know, whatever. Yeah, I don't ever want to get entangled in anybody's bullshit. Okay. Straight up. Don't want it. I'll be there to see if you're okay, be a witness or something, but not like, oh, he shouldn't be doing it. I'm just, no. Just like Melanie Gibbs says, she don't gossip. It's hilarious. Yeah, Krusha, one of the pages needs to be resources. Oh yeah. Well, but just be careful. Don't put yourself in a situation where, let's say, you're invited into your ex's home. You don't know. Okay. Trust your gut feeling. Trust your gut. Okay. That's God gave you that intuition. Use it. Sharpen it. And then just don't become situationally unaware. I mean, it's deadly, Mm. I don't blame. Hey, I'm not saying. No, I get it. No, hey, everybody knows their own situation, but don't put yourself in a situation where you got to go in there and then she's like, "Rah, rah, rah," or him. People just, they be scamming. They don't want to work. They don't want to be accountable or responsible for what the hell they're doing, you know? So just watch you. I hope, I hope you're safe. And I'm right there with you, girl. Holy crap. Yeah. Hmm. I'm sorry you had to go through that. That's crappy. And then married her. Well, you better. You better marry her. And then just sit back and just let the rest take care of itself. That's God. It has a way of the trash takes itself out. Okay, that's how I look at it. Don't even entertain that shit. Yeah. People, and yeah, we trust, it's easy. It's like what you want to trust people, you want to trust your neighbors. Your kids are okay outside, right? No, no. I mean, I'm sure most of the time, but there's always that one time. I literally was 4 and I went and knocked on my friend's house on my friend's door. His grandpa answered the phone. I mean, I answered the door, and you can figure out the rest. That was it. It's just like, what? I was 4. You can't process that stuff. I don't even know. I remember what I was wearing. I remember those things, but it's like I was 4 and I was just doing a routine thing, knocking on my friend's door. I mean, like family friend, not family, but family, like, who would end up being, I mean, it was a grandfather of, anyways, I'm not trying to get all personal, but I'm just saying, just watch our kids, man. I loved being outside too. Boy, I was a little ditch kid, straight up. Yeah, that's how it happens. It does. And I mean, they're not going to be, predators prey. This is what they do. They they go, Jodi, and like these alleged Church of Satan, LDS Church of Satan members, they're not at I don't know a good alternative or opposite of the church. They have for sure. I don't know if I mean, I've gone through, oh my God, the whole damn church is just done. They're all just crazy. They're all upside down and inside out and backwards. And I'm just like, you know, and then I'm like, okay, no, back up. And I'm like, that's just right here, with all these, of course, I mean, I'm studying these people and researching into their beliefs and stuff. So no, okay, it can't just be one way. It's got to be in between. And so I'm not being fair, to those people who do not practice what Lori and others in the LDS Church of Satan believe in, this inverted system, okay? Inverted, perverted, and disgusting. And so there are good people out there. That's why you're here. You're good people. And this is what we do. So I know that there's good in the world. And that's been one of the most amazing, I want to say, things and very unique perspective was to see the absolute freaking worst in humanity. Like, this has been horrible, right? I mean, whew, it's effing crazy. But then to see all of you guys rally around, offer comfort, support, love, healing words, reality, being truthful, just being, whatever, just being you, just being here, even just whatever, just being humaning, okay? And wanting to find, to seek and get justice through understanding, so to speak, for Tylee and JJ and Charles and Tammy and Joe and so many others. Okay, a lot of you have lost members of your family via murder or of the like, or some of you have had. I've experienced parental alienation, just like Joe. And no, that's bullshit, man. I am so. Your kids aren't pawns, okay? Or nobody's a pawn, okay? Do what you do. Just don't use people. That's control. It's so anyways. So you see the best in humanity too. And I see how, like, their stories, although, and it's my opinion that they're not accurate, not all the way. I mean, just in the sins of our mother, they leave out, told my bishop, give me my temple recommend or I'm going to murder. They left out some parts. They left out Nephi. If it comes at you once, if it comes at you twice, if it comes at you 3 times, says it right here in the scriptures where she's justifying it. And I'm just like, that's very, very specific. And it's got a stamp on it that's not because of Revelation or the Bible or, it's specific to the Book of Mormon. That is important. And so these news media outlets, they'll spin it and or they don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying I've noticed it. And I'm like, it had not, I mean, yes, but I mean, Joseph Smith founded the church in like what, 1835? I'm not saying I know any way, shape, or form. I just know the Bible's been around longer. I'm not saying I do whatever, I'm just saying, just either way, it's these people have just gone on way too long. And it all comes from the white brotherhood. Okay. It's all the good old boy. Which makes me wonder about like Suzanne Morphew, Barry Morphew. I'm like, good old boy system over there too. I think. What do y'all think? And just learn all you can about these orders. I don't know if you want to. It's interesting though, But what I'll do is I meant to do all this earlier, but I went and got my hair trimmed. I can't tell. Anyways, and Jason and Silas, they went to a monster truck show. So I'm about to go lay in my bed and have an actual hiatus without Jason, without him being in the damn hospital. Okay. I'm like, I don't even know what to do. Like, this is just normal. A break, you know what I mean? Like, love you. I don't know. Distance makes the heart grow fonder, right? And not be because he's in ICU or something again. I mean, that's so nice to just they went somewhere, and so I'm really glad. And I can't wait to hear how it goes. And plus my other bonus son's in there and I'll go hang out with him. Well, after I lay in my bed for a little bit. And then we'll go. I'm a schedule for tomorrow, regular Sundays, right? And it'll be about lore horror. Okay. And yeah. Maybe I'll see if I don't know. I'll work something out for part 2 of this, but maybe I'll have some help, and so I don't get so winded and or chatty. It tends to happen. So I appreciate you guys being here. If you would please, YouTube thing, right? Will you please like the video, share it, or whatever, just please. I'm trying to dig out. It's crazy. It's crazy time. Anyways, all right. Justice for Tylee, Charles, Tammy, JJ, and Joe. Love always wins. That's what the signs say. And you're proof of this, y'all. Thank you so much. See you guys tomorrow. Allegedly.